Well, hello everybody. We're getting started. Sorry about the problems. It just took us a second to get everything resorted after OBS decided to completely shit the bed on me. Let's see. Let me see. Anything else I want to do right now? Yeah, it could be. Probably not. Okay. Okay. All right, everybody. So we got the rundown. Let me get the stream elements, Mikey, and then double check the music, and then we should be good. Ooh. Oh, man. It's that time of year. I'm so excited. Okay. Yeah, it's they can't. Yeah. All right, now they can hear you.
All right,
here I am.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Drinking a Conway's Irish Ale, everybody.
There you go. Oh my god.
From Great Lakes.
Maybe it was for the better.
The pride of you quiet now.
Is it good? You like it?
The beer? Oh yeah, it's fantastic. One of the best. Bourbon? Ooh. I took a shot of bourbon before this, I'm not gonna lie. Woodford Reserve too. Not bad stuff.
You're gonna need it to run this podcast.
Is that a new thing about Nintendo being at PAX East?
You guys should hear
They're
that.
often at PAX and they don't
Yeah,
really
we hear
do
that.
much. Yep, I heard it.
Chat doesn't hear it. Chat, you don't hear it. Just a second.
Yeah, calm down, chat.
Jesus.
Really.
Yeah, what
Chat.
the fuck, Chad? It's just so annoying.
Sorry, we'll give you
We're
your.
only 15 minutes late.
We'll
What the fuck?
refund your ticket prices. Jeez.
Yeah. No, we're really
We were
messing
too
up the
busy.
schedule on the internet.
Yeah. We were more important shit was happening.
They're gonna have to
Evil
delay the 11
announcements.
o'clock news.
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 I wanna
Music. Okay, no. There we go.
Hey, you got.
All right, chat heard that.
Hey. Do you tweet it?
Okay. Nope, we'll do so right now.
Do you have the stream elements up?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good shit.
Okay. Let's get started. I'm gonna
Let's go.
let's go. Let's not let's wait. Let's go.
You didn't tell me you liked the.
I'm looking at it right now. Actually, let me take a look here. Is that? I want to make this bigger. How do I see this bigger? Because I'm only seeing like the tiny little version in my back.
I'll just send it. Well, I put it in. I'll just send it to you in podcast stuff.
Okay.
Let's see.
Now I feel embarrassed. Now it's been built up too much.
Let me tweet it while I get that open.
There it is. Yes, you can tweet. Masthead. Yeah, I should take him.
Will be supposed to be free? No, they're gonna be on chill forever.
Oh, that's very good. Man, that's the water splash. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I did that myself.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. All done in Photoshop, not copy pasting any PNG. That's all brushes and transparencies.
He's an artist, everybody. Respect the art.
Yes, sir. All right, we should. Yeah, you should tweet them.
It would be cooler if he was naked. It would be like a Godzilla type deal.
I'm not over Dan thinking that veal was baby seal meat, by the way. I just thought that everybody in restaurants was ordering baby seal meat. Just still reeling from that one. Like what? I know Dan, and he says a lot of things.
He definitely said that.
He said that almond milk and regular milk taste the same, and that's the most. That's the
Look,
biggest lie.
that's messed up also. But the
That's
baby
the
seal
biggest
thing.
lie.
The fact that he thinks everybody was just eating baby seals breaded and covered in Parmesan cheese and tomato sauce. Thank you, everyone.
Because veal rhymes with seal. That's what his brain did to him.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, lots of words
Yeah, it
rhyme.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
lots of words do rhyme. Actually,
Weird Looney Tunes ass fucking world. It makes sense.
Mike, give me just a couple of words so I can actually check this audio level.
Yeah, sure. Last of the Nintendogs, starring Mike Minotti and Jeff Grubb. It's a podcast, so we're gonna start that podcast.
We're gonna start right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna turn myself down here a little bit.
5 more minutes.
We're gonna start it right now. Okay. Mike, I'm gonna count us in, and then we'll get started. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let me make sure I got the right. Okay, cool. I renamed my scene collection. Fuck this, because I'm mad about OBS. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I'm a Nintendog. I was also confused about why you said Mike Minotti when it says AJ Minotti right there.
I could go with the flow. Don't worry. I don't have to just literally read the words in front of me, unlike you, Ron Burgundy. We're the last of the Nintendogs. Woof woof. Today, we're going to be talking about Xbox games coming to Nintendo consoles. I guess more Xbox games coming to Nintendo consoles. Pokemon Presents Predictions. That's fun to say. And Star Fox turns 30. Jeff, how are you going? Was that a spicy Discord notification you just got there?
It was just a Discord notification, which I know is going to be on the podcast because I forgot to mute it. So mostly just upset. I have no idea what the notification is. Oh no, it's from Dan Reichert. He's saying he's still pretty sure that veal is baby seal. So
God damn it. Well, yeah. How's it going? It's man, a lot of news today.
Yeah, it was a busy day for news. I guess gaming's like really starting to pick back up after a long weekend. I think everyone's like, let's hit the ground running. Like a lot of companies are like, we got to make things happen before the end of March because that's going to be the end of their fiscal. So I think we might start feeling the heat with that here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of heat, how about some napalm from an enemy combatant in a hot Call of Duty match on your Nintendo Switch? See, I could do segues.
I don't like it. I don't like when you do segues. It's weird.
Jan?
It's unnatural. Yeah, leave it to Jan.
Yeah, I should just say. Anyways, let's move to new thing. Microsoft has apparently signed an agreement to bring Xbox games to Nintendo, a legally binding 10-year agreement. Now, there's a little bit of weirdness here because in the tweet, Vice Chair and President at Microsoft, Brad Smith, said, "We've now signed a binding 10-year contract to bring Xbox games to Nintendo's gamers. This is just part of our commitment to bring Xbox games and Activision titles like Call of Duty to more players on more platform." Then the kind of like tweeted joint statement between Microsoft and Nintendo really only talks about Call of Duty. And this reads, Microsoft and Nintendo have now negotiated and signed a binding 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players the same day as Xbox with full feature and content parity, so they can experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty. We are committed to providing long-term equal access to Call of Duty to other gaming platforms, bringing more choice to more players and more competition to the gaming market. There's a lot to unpack there. Before I do, I want to thank everybody who's watching the show live. If you are, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want us to answer any of your questions, you can send in a super chat, any comments, anything you like. We appreciate it. They will all get read on the show. My first question here, Jeff, is how exactly is Call of Duty going to be appearing on Nintendo platforms with like feature and content parity day and date with the release on other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you used the right word, right? Appearing. They say a 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players. Nowhere does this say to release on the Nintendo Switch a version of Call of Duty. They will likely be streaming it. I mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, They're going to be streaming this game. That's what this statement. The statement nowhere promises to release a physical copy for Nintendo Switch or anything like that. I think if they can, they will, and that might happen on the next generation Nintendo platform, sure. But for the most part, this mostly seems like they are just going to find whatever means they can to get on Switch. And this is not really about Nintendo or anything about that. Everyone can see through what this is. This is just them trying to position themselves to say, we do make these agreements with big companies like Nintendo. We'll do it with Sony. But yeah, as far as with Nintendo goes, this is just probably them saying we'll do everything we can, and when it is on Switch, in whatever version that is in terms of how we deliver it, it is going to be the exact same game, and that I totally believe. Of course, they're going to do that.
Now, do you think it's literally just here's a cloud version of Call of Duty, or is it more than that? Is like all of xCloud going to be available on Switch or something like that?
I mean, it's probably a game by game thing that the Switch already has, right? Like the Switch has Hitman 3 is on there, and you can get that through the cloud. But it like you still download it from the eShop and all that stuff, and then it just runs from the cloud once you open it. I think it'll probably be like that at least for the foreseeable future. And Nintendo does not seem like they are suddenly going to be like, well, this is the reason that we're going to open up that conversation about having a version of Game Pass or Xbox Live or xCloud just as an app on the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be game by game.
Mm-hmm. And the same day, Microsoft also announced that they're going to be bringing all their kind of cloud games to Nvidia GeForce Now. So yeah, this is all clearly not really about GeForce or about Nintendo. It's about Sony and the regulators.
It was a little bit about Nvidia, though. Because Nvidia was one of those companies, right, that said we have concerns. And then in that press release, it literally says this alleviates or this deals with Nvidia's concerns. We don't have concerns anymore because of this deal. So
right, and I mean, it wasn't really so much that Nvidia had concerns, but that the regulators were echoing those concerns and pointing them out. Right?
Yes, saying like, say Nvidia mentioned to us some things that they think that like Nvidia mentioned, sure, slippery slope arguments, all that stuff could totally happen, and then the regulators were like, well, that's another company that has concerns, and then Nvidia was like, well, we're just going to go do a direct deal with Microsoft because they keep knocking at our door, and so like you said, this is going to be about Sony.
Is a pretty funny consequence of all that, though, that I guess we're going to get Call of Duty games on Switch in one way or another. Now, what do you think about the kind of vague wording here about whether it's Call of Duty or Xbox games? Do you really think this is just about Call of Duty, or are we going to once again see more other Xbox games on there? We've already had, Cuphead, Ori, Minecraft, obviously. Is this branching out beyond that?
I don't think so. I think it was just Brad Smith just kind of just writing a tweet, and then you see the thing that's actually a press release that the lawyers definitely went over, and that says Call of Duty. But I mean, if it is more games, that also wouldn't be too surprising. There's a lot of games that Xbox makes that would make sense on other platforms, sure. And I think Microsoft will probably be more and more open to that. The more and more these companies are willing to consider Game Pass. So I think it's probably going to be Call of Duty, but we saw with Nvidia, it was Call of Duty and Minecraft. It's going to be situations like that where there's probably like a handful of games that sometimes make sense to go on Switch.
Do you think this really weakens Sony's position? Is this you think this is maybe the end of their arguments, the end of their kind of fight here?
Yeah, I can't see it not being. It's I guess that's not true. I could see it still being the derailment for this deal. If the regulators are like, well, we never actually cared what you did. We were always going to break up this deal because this is such a big deal. We just don't want it to go through. It just would look bad for us, which is a position that these regulators seem to be taking, and I think that's their their belief there, and that's fine. It is, but in terms of like Sony's argument here, of course, it's been completely defanged. It's there's just all these other companies are getting in on this action. It's contractually binding. It's Nvidia. It's Nintendo, two very different companies, one in the cloud space, one in the console space. This it covers just about everything that every regulator and Sony was bringing up as a possible concern. All Sony has to do is sign on the dotted line. They get the same exact deal. Why? Okay, the ball is in your court, Sony. I can't see how the regulators don't see it that way. But again, they might not see it that way because they just don't care.
First off, I think chat's saying I'm a little bit low, so you just
Yep,
boost me up a smidge.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it is funny just this Nintendo aspect because once again it kind of feels like Nintendo's being pulled along here. Like Microsoft's like, "Hey, sign this, you'll get Call of Duty." Like, what? Oh yeah, sure, go away. And it's like, look, everybody, look at we're tweeting, and Nintendo's like, "Yeah, that's fine." But it is, yeah, right. Like it's almost like they're not annoyed, but it is kind of a funny set of circumstances here. But yeah, it is nice to see something going on with this. But hey, this doesn't really concern Nintendo, except for the fact that Call of Duty will somehow be playable on these things. I don't think it's going to have some kind of big impact. I don't think the next Call of Duty is suddenly going to become even a top 5 selling game on that system. Like, what exactly are the expectations for how well a cloud version of Call of Duty can do in Switch? I mean, how well have any of the cloud games done, right? Like, what's the best-selling cloud game on Switch? Yeah. We don't know. Like, how many copies
one
of
those
Kingdom
Resident
Hearts
Evils?
3?
Like, wasn't like Resident Evil 2 remake on there as a cloud game? That's probably the best-selling one.
Yeah, you would think, but like even then, it's not millions.
Definitely not. No way.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Next thing here is that the Pokemon Company announced a Pokemon Presents is happening soon. It's going to be on their official YouTube channel at 6 a.m. Pacific on February 27th. It's going to be 20 minutes of exciting Pokemon news in celebration of Pokemon Day 2023. I keep forgetting that there is a Pokemon Day, but there it is. Jeff, I think we can make some relatively smart predictions about what may show up here, right?
Yeah, Pokemon Sleep. It's happening. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, not Pokemon Sleep, but well, this one is maybe not a guarantee, but the kind of picture for it had a bunch of balloons that were red, blue, and yellow. Now, is that me really reading too much into things about maybe red, blue, and yellow coming to NSO for the Game Boy libraries?
I don't think so. They were also playing the Game Boy, the Game Boy music that was from those games in the video for it. I think that's happening. I think that they were saving it for this the entire time. That's going to be a big deal for Nintendo Switch Online. I think that's happening, and we'll hear about it. Do you think it's a shadow drop, or do you think they announce it and make everybody wait a couple months for fucking red, blue, and yellow all over?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It could be both. When does is Stadium on Switch already? Or is that coming later?
No, it's coming later.
Right. So I wonder if they time it with that so that there can be compatibility somehow between those things.
Yeah.
It'd be neat.
We're still waiting for the Mario parties, right? I'm trying to think of the N64. It was like, yeah, Mario Party is one came out. I don't know if 2 and 3 have come out yet. So yeah, I think Stadium's still coming later.
Yeah, and then kind of the weird thing about that, it's cool, but I'd rather have like Crystal, and if I had to have one of the Game Boy / Game Boy Color Pokemon games, but it seems like red, blue, and yellow just makes more sense to do first. There's even more nostalgia for those. I mean, it'd also be cool to have Fire Red and Leaf Green on there since we have Game Boy Advance, but I get it. Do the originals. So just Mario Party 3 is left to put out there. So they're getting close to the end of all those Nintendo 64 games that they promised. Even almost more certain than that, we'll probably be hearing about DLC plans for Scarlet and Violet, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, certainly. I think that they are going to be... I think they're going to make a big deal out of this DLC. I think that they probably are also going to be like, we're going to do a lot of DLC, more than we've ever done before. And it's going to take even longer. So if another Pokemon game maybe doesn't come out next year, or not, maybe a smaller one or something like that, it's going to be okay because it's going to be even more DLC. And maybe they could take this opportunity finally to like really pause on what they're working on next and figure that out. So it's in a much better place than this game was when it launched. In the meantime, they could just sell a DLC for a game that has already basically sold 20 million copies. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Right. So you don't think there's any chance we get DLC and like Let's Go?
I mean, if we get a game, it's going to be Let's Go.
Right.
Yeah, I think there is a chance. Of course, there's a chance. They make these plans years in advance. They might not. Let's Go is totally still a possibility. I just think it's more likely still that we just get DLC.
Then there's maybe we can get some updates on spin-offs or some new ones announced. We haven't heard about Detective Pikachu 2 in a long time, right?
Yeah, Detective Pikachu 2, there's movement with that movie. So it's like, if they're making a second movie, maybe they're going to...
They are making a second movie?
There's movement with it, Mike. I don't understand Hollywood. Whenever we talk about Hollywood, I'm always just like, please, I don't know. There was a news story about it the other day. That's what it was. I don't think that Justice Smith, whoever the actor was, I don't know if he's going to be in it, but it's probably going to be like I would imagine it'd probably be a smaller movie, but... Yeah, apparently they're working on it or something. But yeah, Detective Pikachu 2, we haven't heard about that in years. They've probably been modifying that for Switch, and that probably took a while. And it's probably been done for a while too. But then Mystery Dungeon, the copyright for the studio, Spike Chunsoft or whatever it is, appeared on the Pokemon website recently, and so people are like, "Oh, there probably is going to be a Mystery Dungeon thing happening." So, and that makes sense too.
Sure do wish we would get a new Pokemon pinball, which never say never. We did get a new Pokemon Snap. These things do happen. So things that probably aren't likely to happen. It's probably too early for Black and White remakes. It's definitely too early to talk about next generation, right? So yeah, those definitely aren't in the preview here. So yeah, I think DLC very, very, very likely, almost a certainty. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow and NSO also very likely. And then from there, it's some crapshoots. Sounds right?
Pokemon Sleep!
Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Sleep did come out, right? Or
no, they announced it and nothing ever happened with it.
That's hilarious. So
you're
like
thinking
a vitality
you're thinking of
sensor.
Pokemon Toothbrush or whatever it is, to Pokemon Smile, the game that watches you to brush your teeth, and then it makes Pikachu very excited and happy.
Okay, yes. I'll tell you what, Jeff, I absolutely did get those things mixed up. I'm surprised that's just not the same app, to be honest.
Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, you brush your teeth and you go to
Pokemon
sleep.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Pokemon Be a Good Kid.
Pokemon Mr. Mime watches your entire life.
Yeah. Pokemon, we're watching you. We'll report on you to your parents. We're not your friend. Pokemon, we're not your friend.
I love that. That's very good.
That's the opposite of let's go.
We're gonna make that T-shirt's gonna be in our store soon, everybody. Pokemon, we're not your friend.
What was that Pikachu game called? We talked to my buddy Pikachu, my pal
Hey
Pikachu.
You Peekaboo.
Hey You Pikachu. There
Yeah.
you go. Got it, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, Star Fox turns 30 today. The original game launched for the Super Famicom in Japan on February 21st, 1993. So, man, that's a big anniversary for Star Fox. It's a series that has had ups and downs, mostly downs recently. But I don't know. What do you think about Star Fox?
Can you really turn 30 if you're dead? If you're fucking
Wow,
dead?
Jesus. Hey, I'm a Star Fox. I defend a lot of the bad Star Fox games to some degree. You know, our mod Turbo Shaw's been playing Star Fox Adventure on stream.
Been playing all the Star Fox games. Yeah.
But he was like playing Adventure today, and I was kind of watching it, and maybe it's because it's on the GameCube, and you know me, but I'm like, this is like, there's some charm to this.
I mean, it was always a good looking game. The fur tech on there, man, woo, hunt under the collar, yeah.
Woo! No wonder does Crystal have that fur tech?
Yes,
no wonder
absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, you think that fur tech goes all the way down?
All the way down to the floor. Yes. This is a bad podcast. We should do something.
This is a bad podcast. We need to do something. I was so excited about that pod. I was like, I'm not going to say anything after that. I'm going to wait for him.
I'm really disappointed because a lot of people are going to use an app that like cuts out the pauses and. It's
you fools!
Okay,
is that really a thing people do?
I do that. I don't ever use the fast talking one or like I'm gonna listen at 1.2. A lot of people do that. They'll listen to like 1.2, 1.5. But I cut out the pauses.
I already talk pretty fast, Jeff. I don't think I would be. I don't think you'd be able to understand anything I say if you speed me up. And I don't think there's too many pauses when it's me and you going at it, talking the news, talking about video games.
It's a Algonquin round table. I know how to say that word.
Hey, what's your favorite Star Fox game?
It probably is just Star Fox 64. I mean,
boring answer. That's the problem with the series is that they never made one as good as that, right? It peaked way too early.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's they're sort of beholden to that, and every time they sort of try to get away from that formula, it's not as good, or parts of it are good, and yet they screw up so many other parts that people generally remember the games poorly. I think that's what happened with Star Fox Zero, a game that the Star Fox parts seem to be pretty good, and then everything else is pretty bad.
Well, I mean, it is mostly the Star Fox parts. It's just there's kind of a bit more on top of it with the weird second screen thing. I don't know. I liked Zero fine, but yeah, even then, it's like they probably made it too complicated. They always make it too complicated. There's the DS one that was almost there, but then it had too much of like tactic stuff in it.
Right.
Obviously, Adventures is really just more of a Zelda game, much more of a Zelda game.
Yes.
Star Fox Assault got pretty close because
this is the Namco Bandai one.
It's a Namco Bandai one, the GameCube. It's the second Star Fox GameCube game that a lot of people forget even happened. But it's like it's good. Like the Star Fox levels actually feel great, and then the other things are just third-person shooters. And yeah, okay, it's like why don't we just on the ship? But at least that's pretty adjacent to what you're doing in Star Fox. You're running around shooting things.
Yeah,
it works fine enough. So I think Star Fox Assault is maybe the most underrated one.
Yeah, I think I need to go back and play a lot more of the Star Fox games. At a certain point, like one of them burned me, and I just missed out on a lot of them. I think
An Adventure.
Adventure definitely is one I bought and was excited for and bounced off of pretty quickly.
It has the slow beginning problem.
Very
think,
slow.
I don't think I'm like you with Minish Cap. I just never caught past the beginning of Star Fox Adventure.
Jan showed some interest into Adventure, and then I think when we rated Sean, I'm like,
Did he see Crystal?
Play.
Is that why?
He didn't. So I'm like, he hasn't even seen Crystal yet, and his interest is being just waiting.
Well,
he's
just gonna be. Although I think like you see Crystal in the intro, and then you don't actually see her again for like 10 hours.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So. Yeah, so there's like a bunch of furry ladies in Star Fox 2, which that is still really cool that they just actually released Star Fox 2.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's a very un-Nintendo thing like to do, right?
Yeah, every once in a while Nintendo does something like that that's like bizarrely cool, like adding accessibility features to Metroid Prime Remastered, releasing Star Fox 2, letting an indie team make a Zelda game, and we always think it's the start of a trend, and it never is.
Never is. The Metroid Prime accessibility features will be a one-off thing, and we will get them again in like 10 years when a retro releases another game. It's like, oh, this is just a retro thing. Okay. The Star Fox, the one way you save Star Fox is you make them the Muppets from the E3 video, and you just actually completely no-sell it. You no-sell, like, oh no, this is just totally normal, and they're going to take it very seriously, and those are Muppets, and that's it.
Should they look like the Muppets from those E3 videos, or should they look like the Thunderbirds kind of puppets from like the original like concept like photos or whatever?
You know me, I'll take it where I can get it, Mike. So I'll take either one. But I prefer the Muppets.
Star Fox Zero was a very good looking game. It was. I will say that can't be disputed. It looks very good. Yes, okay, so hopefully Star Fox isn't dead. Hopefully you can come back someday. Hey, you know what? If you want to release $40, $30 games, just make a Star Fox 64-like game that's like 4 hours long, and just make it be a rail shooter. Make it be a lot of fun. Just make it pretty, and I think that'll be enough.
It's pretty weird that Panzer Dragoon was the other on-rails shooter one, and its RPG was really good. And then Star Fox Adventures was just kind of, eh.
Well, I mean, Panzer Dragoon Saga was always meant to be a Panzer Dragoon game. So
that's true.
It's like, how do you make an RPG that's a Panzer Dragoon game? Dinosaur Planet was just Miyamoto, right? Said, hey, that guy kind of looks like Fox. So then it's right?
Just walking past the room, not even like ever having a conversation. Just walk past the room, like sees the TV, like, hey, is that a fox? No, okay. He's
right. And I bet cynically, Dinosaur Planet sold better than it probably would have because it was a quote Star Fox game. So
it talked about how you're genius, Miyamoto. That's what. Miyamoto, this is so genius. You're right. This should be a Star Fox game.
Were you talking about this? Somebody asked him at the opening for Super Nintendo World in Hollywood if they're making a new Mario game. He's like, we're always making a new Mario game.
We talked about that. Yeah. I mean, what else is he gonna say? But also, it's funny that he feels free to say it. Like Miyamoto, we know.
We understand that part. We're trying to see if there's anything you want to say.
Yes. But we know. We totally get it. You're always making a Mario game.
Yes. They're not always making a Star Fox game. They're definitely not always making an F-Zero game. No. They are always making
I bet there has not been a moment since Super Mario Brothers where they were not... Even Mario Brothers. Since Mario Brothers, there's not been a moment where they weren't making a Mario game.
Yeah. I guess like the weirdest time would have been between 64 and Sunshine. It seems, but that was like working on Mario 128 or whatever, and then that not really turning into anything, which is weird. Jeff, that's it for the news. Do you want to maybe read some of the super chats that we have in, and then maybe we can do a little ad break?
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's see here. From Uriel Delgado, Reverse Jeff would be a Kingdom. Oh, it would be a Kingdom Hearts fan, and Reverse Mike would make love Bob for apples. What if Embracer?
That's a sick game for sickos.
What if
Embracer... imagine like all that gross apple water. Ugh.
Man, probably for apples. Actually, a pretty good time.
Yeah, I would rather go to hell.
It's like you just get your face in that water. It's like
That's
being
disgusting.
It's like being waterboarded with fruit. It's pretty cool.
Nobody would actually do that anymore, to be clear. That's got to be disgusting. That can't be healthy.
I mean,
that's actually just riddled with germs.
It was definitely like one of those leftover entertainment things from like the Depression, and for some reason it just still kept going until we were kids. It's
right, exactly.
This is just what children do. It's like, is it? They have like video games now.
I think it's in Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, so it probably made it seem more culturally relevant throughout the years than it really was.
Exactly right. Uriel Delgado asks, what if Embracer made a console with the games they make being exclusive? So, Embracer exclusive console.
So they would get to have Darksiders.
Yes, that's the first thing that came to mind.
Saints Row.
Hey, SnowRunner. I'm there.
SnowRunner.
Time Splitters.
Something that didn't do a Time Splitter. Man, I mean, of course, I don't like Time Splitters. I don't like GoldenEye, but I'm always shocked when people talk about Time Splitters as like one of the great games of that generation. Sure,
it's fun, but it's like after Halo and Call of Duty, it felt really weird.
Mm-hmm. But and then not really Tomb Raider, but definitely Deus Ex. I guess I don't know. It'd be okay. It still would be more exclusive than Xbox. I guess.
From Toadpack Shakur, I hope one day Mike will enter a 10-year agreement with me. Heart face.
Oh, I'll enter.
Toadpack Shakur loves you and hates me.
Yeah. Well, you're awful.
Okay, that's a good point.
And I'm great.
From Donnie Reese, please give me Metal Gear Solid Remake hope. I feel like I don't need to because Andy is drinking and he's been on Twitter all night. And if you would, go ask him. It sounds like he'll give you hope.
I know there's rumors either that or 3. They're both great.
3. I think it is 3, by the way. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't want to say it's 2 bags. That'll be good also. And they technically already remade one before with Twin Snakes, which is sure is a game. But I don't know. If you had to ask me like which one I would like to see the whole like modern remake thing given to, like Dead Space style, I think Metal Gear Solid 1 could be interesting. I don't know. Whatever, because I like both of those games are still really good to me in their original form. So remakes are just icing on top of the cake.
I should replay Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I love that game.
You'll get RetroArch achievements.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. From B Traven, Nintendo is slated to have a booth at PAX East. Would you guess that we'll get more Tears of the Kingdom info from them at or around this time? Yes. Because that's like, what, March or April?
Yeah, if they're going to PAX East, they're going to have a Tears of the Kingdom booth, which means that I assume that some kind of presentation about Tears of the Kingdom will happen before then.
Yes, I agree. And then, let's see, we got one from Hitch just a moment ago. Last of Us 2 PC, question mark? Do you know any info on next PlayStation PC port? Last of Us 2 is probably good. You know what? I bet the beginning of next year, Last of Us Part 2 goes to PC when talk of Season 2 of the show begins to pick up. I guess that'll probably be a little bit longer than that. But again, it'll probably get timed with the next season of the show, I think. And then, no info, like no sourced info about the next PlayStation PC port. But Mike, what do you think it would be?
We haven't had Ghost of Tsushima yet, huh?
It's got to be Ghost of Tsushima.
Gotta be Ghost.
And then probably Miles Morales, not too much longer after that. Because what are we at? We're 2023. Miles Morales came out in, 2020?
It was after Ghost, though, so...
Yeah, it's definitely after Ghost, right. Yeah. But I'm just like, we're already kind of getting that zone where that makes sense.
Miles Morales is already on PC.
Oh, that's right. They already put Miles Morales on PC. Jesus Christ, I completely forgot about that.
I didn't actually know that. Cast Coder said it in chat, and then I try to claim it as my own knowledge.
No, yeah, it was that's right. Cause they put Spider-Man on, and then just a few months later they put Miles Morales on there. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
all right,
just kind of did those.
It's definitely Ghost of Tsushima. That's definitely next. What's after that? I don't know.
Last of Us Part 2, I guess.
Demon Souls.
Yeah, what about Demon Souls? That's a good question.
That would be a good one because that unlike what seems like Returnal's kind of fizzling on PC, which is a shame. It's a good game.
You hate it. You're happy to see it fail. Just admit it.
I like to stomp on the grave of that developer. I think Demon Souls would sell a bucket load on PC. Oh, God.
I mean, they should have had that ready to go when, like, at least sometime after Elden Ring. I mean, the same thing with Bloodborne, though, and they just haven't, so...
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that Bloodborne was before the PC initiative, so...
Yeah. We have a member chat here. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah, please. Can you hit that for me? Thank you.
Yeah, from Rigo Romero, who's been a member for 10 months. Thank you so much. He says, "Hey, dogs, do you know the process when leaks like this happen? Do they have their own private investigators?" So we haven't talked about this, but there was apparently the art book for Tears of the Kingdom has been leaked. And
I looked at the whole thing, and I'm already like, I'm done with that. What's next? That's where I'm at with this.
Right.
thing.
I mean, it's to me, it's something that sounds really spicy, and then like stop and think about how much can really be leaked from this art book. And I don't know. I know people are always worried about stuff just floating around there. I haven't seen anything, so don't worry, guys. I had nothing to spoil you on. I didn't see anything. But yeah, what do you think is Nintendo's response to this? How hard are they going?
I mean, it sounds like the book just like, I mean, maybe it is on the supply chain somewhere. Nintendo probably does have internal security that like takes a look. That's their job. I mean, how serious they need to take this. To me, it's like, oh, this is the kind of thing that happens. So, oh well, it's spilt milk, it's cost of doing business, get over it. But they probably don't look at it that way. They probably do look at it like, hey, this should not have happened. There's one thing I would not spoil in the book that I did see that I'm pretty excited about. It's cool. There's another thing though I kind of do want to just mention that I think
of course you would just dive right into those.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. There's one that's like just kind of this fun world thing that I'm not. All right, I'm not. I know it's.
You better not, Jeff.
I better not. Okay, we could talk about it once the game's here. It's just a couple of months. Okay. That does it for the super chats, Mike.
Yes, sir, it does. Why don't we take a little ad break, Jeff?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Does that sound good to you? I'm glad to have your permission.
It sounds real good. You know what else you have my permission to do?
Shaving my balls!
Clean those bad boys!
Go!
Mike, Manscaped is very important to me. They've been really making my life much better to live. It didn't have meaning or flavor or zest.
Sure. Flavor. Manscaped adds just so much flavor, Jeff.
Yes. Okay. I completely forgot.
Play the music, Jeff!
Okay, here we go.
You probably don't even have that ready to go anymore.
I don't have that ready to go because my OBS completely shit the bed, so I'll put it in later.
Well, how's the music go? I can do something like
it's the
kind
Nintendo Land music, which I'm sure you have memorized.
Shit. I'll just hum what I think that goes. Like, you just keep doing the thing.
Okay, yeah, so, all right. This episode of Last of the Nintendogs is brought to you by the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped, and I'm grateful for this because it helps me keep myself clean. It helps me to avoid nicks and cuts when I am getting down there and getting into my engine room and doing the business that needs to be done, taking care of that messy package. That's thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Mike, I just discovered my travel bag was underneath everything. I'm like, I almost threw it out, so I put it back in the box, and I was about to throw out the box, and I'm like, oh man, it's right there. I was so grateful I didn't. That thing is really nice. It's like, it's really like high quality.
I used it as my toiletry bag for my recent New York trip, and it was great for that. For a while, I was literally just putting my toiletries in just plastic bags. I probably looked, like some kind of vagrant, kind of like this one that I have your hair in still.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's much better to put it in an actual nice bag.
How many like train riding hobos do you like with the bags on the stick? How many of those bags do you think were filled with hair? First off, the Lawnmower 4.0, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever. This is their 4th generation trimmer featuring a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4,000 Kelvin LED spotlight for when you need a more precise shave down there. Because the trimmer is waterproof, you could say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. You just take it in the shower with you doofus. Get in the shower, let the water hit you, turn up the heat so it's boiling to boil away all the filth on you, and then get down there, take the Lawnmower 4.0 and clean yourself up. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology. That to me is like so important because I can't imagine going into my nose or going in my ear holes with anything that could possibly hurt me. So yes, anything that's going to reduce those nicks and those cuts is welcome. And then of course the Crop Preserver ball toner. We talk about it every week. It is so good. The one thing I've noticed this week, Mike, is everybody mentioning that the boxers are everyone's coming around on those. I'm like,
I wasn't lying.
Yeah, I'm like, that's one of the things I like about doing these ads is we say, hey, these things are good. People try it and they're like, oh, these things are actually good. And like, yeah, we're not lying. Like
I wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, we actually wouldn't lie about these things. These things are actually great. So I love hearing about people trying the Manscaped boxers and discovering they're actually pretty high quality. It has made me reassess my underwear game. I'm like, oh, I was just wearing shit Fruit of the Loom. Let's go ahead and fix that.
Yeah, it turns out they make nicer underwear that you can wear, which is, for something you're wearing all day, amongst your most sensitive parts, probably a good idea.
You can get 20% off and free shipping worldwide if you use the code MESS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com if you use the code MESS, MESS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
At Nintendo Land.
That was beautiful, Mike. Thank you so much for that backing track.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm a professional.
All right. I think that's going to do it for that ad. We can take a little break or get going, Mike, whatever you want to do.
No, I'm ready. Let's read these questions.
Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure that everything is sorted and I got the questions in front of me so I can read along. Okay.
Excuse me.
It's podcast threads. There we go. I did get my first Factor meal. I tried it tonight.
Mine came in today.
Ooh.
I'll probably eat one after this.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly good.
Wow, Jeff, you already read one ad, okay?
Yeah, I want to listen. I legit was just very excited how good it tasted. All right, okay. I got the questions now. I am ready to go when you are, Mike.
And welcome back to Last of the Nintendogs. It's time to read our questions from our podcast producers. You can be a podcast producer, too. I don't know, maybe think of Lion King there. You can be a big pig, too. Or you can be a fat pig, too. What does he say when he's doing the luau? The moan and the lion.
I know the bit you're referencing, but I can't remember. It's been a long time since I watched Lion King.
Well, that's a very good movie still.
Oh yeah,
it's great. All right, Jeff, you ready for these questions?
Yeah, hit me.
I wish I could. Casual says, "Dear Jeff, Donut Plains Grubb, and Mike, make it stop, Dad." Minotti, love you, Mike. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed those stories about me. When and where was the last time you were at a buffet, and what did you get? Yeah, man, buffets kind of took a beating at the pandemic. There are a few back in Disney World. I don't think I got to go to any of them. I know AJ took his family and my mom to the one in Animal Kingdom, and I really wanted to go, but they couldn't get a table big enough. I think they just didn't want me there.
Sure.
It's called Tusker House.
God, that makes sense.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what any other ones. I don't know. We used to have an Old Country buffet here, which was like the most buffet place. Aside from like the Chinese food buffets, which I think are still here, and those are everywhere. Old Country buffet used to be like, here's just where you get all the American slop that you want.
Sure.
It was a pretty good time. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah,
you know, here's just, here's mac and cheese and turkey and shit.
And a bucket of gravy. I actually do remember the last time I was at a buffet. We went to the YMCA of the Rockies, and it's just kind of, it's not outside Denver. It's a little bit further than that, but it's up near Estes Park in Colorado, and it's this really incredible YMCA that is just like, it stretches over this huge stretch of land in the mountains, and there's all these great cabins that you could stay in, and we just got a cabin, and we were there for a couple of days with the kids, and like they basically had a mess hall that you can go and eat in, and it had a buffet, and we ate there, I think, at least dinner every day, but sometimes lunch too. And it was surprisingly good. And I'm like, oh man, buffets are fun. And I was, this is also fun stuff. Right before I came down here, the last conversation I had with Emmy before I put her to bed was, because she calls Kirby's Dream Buffet the food game. And I was like, well, it's Kirby's Dream Buffet, just so you know, in case you need to like discuss it or whatever. And she's like, Dream Buffet, okay. And then I'm like, do you know what a buffet is? And I started explaining to her what a buffet was. And she's like, wow, you should take me to a buffet. We could go together. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to go there. So I've been thinking about buffets for this entire show.
There must still be a Golden Corral around near you. They closed ours a while ago.
That's exactly what I was thinking. We'll hit up a Golden Corral or the equivalent, right?
Get all the steak you can eat.
Yeah. I actually haven't been to a Golden Corral in like 20 years. So yeah.
My grandpa called it the OK Corral. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Grandpa's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he's dead now, but he was funny.
Okay.
The Egg Doctor says the virtual, he would appreciate. He'd be glad that I would be using that for humor. The Egg Doctor says the Wii Virtual Console was released December 2006, including support for Nintendo 64 games. The Nintendo 64 was released on June 1996. There's only a 10-year gap between the N64's release and it being added to the Virtual Console. It has somehow been 11 years since the Wii U was released. Does this mean that the Wii U is being added to Nintendo Switch Online? P.S. Time is weird. Time is weird.
He's got the answer right there. Time is weird.
Yeah, we've all been talking about that PlayStation 4 reveal event being 10 years ago and how weird that is.
And the Game Boy Advance and the DS release date. So I was talking about that being 4.5 years apart. Just fucked me up. I just could not handle that information.
Well, I always remember that the Game Boy Color had a pretty short lifespan.
That I do remember too. But that's it was like 2.5 years, and that's really weird still. Because it still feels longer than 2.5 years to me, but I remember that. I do not remember that the Game Boy Advance was so truncated. That's just, I guess that was just normal back then.
Well, because I don't know if they actually believed it, but they said that the DS wasn't supposed to replace the Game Boy Advance.
Sure, yeah.
Granted, it had like a slot for Game Boy Advance cartridges. That was mostly them covering their asses in case the DS failed, I guess.
Right.
So it's weird. But to answer Egg Doctor's question here, Nintendo's just always weird about anything beyond Nintendo 64, GameCube and beyond, right? Like when are we ever going to see GameCube kind of virtual console, retro console, NSO? Doesn't seem like it. It seems like that's the system where they think, hey, pretty much any of these games, and we're going to try to sell those, we're going to remaster it or something. And they'll do that with some Nintendo 64 stuff. They've done it with Ocarina of Time and whatnot on 3DS and what have you. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like we're anywhere close still to GameCube getting that kind of treatment.
Nope, I think you nailed it. They're just weird about that.
Octo says, hey, Jeff gets no nickname because he complained about Question Like Grubb, and Mike, karma farming on the giant bomb subreddit Minotti. I am very good at that. Y'all ever play any fan games or remakes? There's a new Castlevania 2 fan remake that looks rad. P.S. Here's an exclusive insider sneak peek at the Mario cinematic universe. Oh, it's a screenshot from Mario and Luigi. That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't play a ton of fan games or remakes. I have to be honest. I haven't even played that another Metroid 2 remake thing.
I played a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many, I don't want to say real games, but there's so many like full official games that getting a lot of discussion that I can't possibly keep up with. It's too bad because there are some really good looking like Sonic games. There's Sonic Robo Blast 2 or whatever. It's some kind of 3D Sonic platformer made in the Doom engine that looks awesome. So, but yeah, no, not really a lot. How about you?
I played another Metroid 2 remake. I feel like there's more than that. I definitely played like a lot of mods that are fan mods that completely rework the game. We're playing Alpha Protocol. We're doing that Play It Forward thing that we announced for Giant Bomb.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, and I went in there and like made sure that I added a bunch of mods so that it would play better and things like that. But nothing that I would just like, other than another Metroid 2 remake that I would qualify as a full remake.
Yeah, the problem is I could kind of watch videos about those. Like Ant Dude does a lot of videos about like those Sonic fan games, and I watch those. I'm like, that's neat, and that kind of gets me what I need. Okay, so yeah, I was wondering about this, Kevin, if Barkley showed up in Jam Gaiden is a fan game, and I guess it is. That game sure did rule. And I'm so sad that its sequel seems to be a Kickstarter disaster story, but that was a great game back in the day.
Yeah.
Velocity Prime 1 says, Dear Dogs, at the time of writing, Metroid Prime Remastered is sitting at a 95 Metacritic rating with 50 reviews. Do you think this might be the best reviewed game of the year? And what games do you think could actually beat that score? You never count out. We're getting a Zelda game, right? Yeah. So Zelda games, when they hit, they review really well. Even when they don't hit,
exactly.
Remember
exactly what I was going to say.
Remember when people were mad about the GameSpot review for Twilight Princess being an 88, and who today, like a lot of people would be like 88's maybe high for that one. Mm-hmm. Back then, people were furious. Resident Evil 4 remake could hit really well.
I was going to go look up the Metacritic of some of these old games, but I remember that's the game we're doing on Decides this week, so I'm like, I better not.
Yeah. So, Resident Evil 4 remake, I think, is another one that could hit incredibly well. I'd be shocked if Starfield did that well. It's going to have enough Bethesda jank to keep it from going that high.
I'm like, if it gets a 90, that's going to be incredible for that game.
Even Final Fantasy 16, like I think it'll be happy to get a 90. Final Fantasy 7, if the Final Fantasy 7 remake 2, whatever it's called, if that happened, I mean, as much as people love Remake and glow about it, it didn't get a 90 Metacritic. It's less than that, right? So I don't think it can. So 95 is very high. It's going to be Zelda or Resident Evil or nothing. Something weird that we're not expecting. Haas says, "Hey, yo, dogs. Saudi Arabia has allegedly increased their Nintendo stake to be the biggest external investor. Hypothetically, if they bought the company outright, would this affect how you feel / act with Nintendo?" I'm not a giant fan of hypotheticals. I guess that's just a fucking lie. I talk about hypotheticals all the time. So yeah, I'll just say it would affect how I act or feel. It's hard to know exactly how it would affect things unless it really happened. So yeah, I'm just not sure. I think I might be too much. Like, you know, you talk about this a lot, Jeff, how you either have to like maybe be smart about these things or just accept that you're a hedonist and that's bad. I know I have a lot of hedonistic tendencies. I think you can't be a big Disney World fan unless you are a bit of a hedonist, but it's not something I'm proud of, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would affect me. I think that they would not be able to just buy out Nintendo outright because I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I suppose they could convince all of the executives and the Nintendo, which probably owns some of itself at a certain point, to okay, we're going to buy Nintendo. Just Nintendo, sell us yourself for a really high price. But just giving into the hypothetical, yeah, that would definitely affect me. But I mean, everything affects me. I'm affected all the time. We were talking a lot about wrestling on the Bombcast today when we opened up, and then, like the entire time I'm like, man, Vince McMahon fucking sucks. And then we talked about Atomic Heart, and I'm like, the entire time, like, we didn't mention that. So yeah, that's could be funded by the Russian government, and that studios have been wishy-washy about the war, and that stuff fucking sucks. I'm affected. Everything affects me, and it's at a certain point, I do try to filter some of it out because I feel helpless because I am, and then it's like, well, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of beating myself up over nothing. So I will usually come back around and try to just enjoy these things, even if they are a product of evil. What can I do?
Right. And I mean, like, I'm better at just, like, I guess going with that. But again, I'm not necessarily proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Chuck 1991 says, "Dear Dogs, the last story on Wii is one of my favorite games. I'm serious. But my hopes for a remaster were dashed when Hironobu Sakaguchi stated he doesn't want to spend resources on remasters of Mistwalker games. Why would a dev not want to do a remaster that is guaranteed to sell more copies now than it had previously, with more and more niche games being remastered? It must be worth it, right?" Mistwalker is kind of Sakaguchi's victory lap, right? I mean, that's the guy who did Final Fantasy. This is him getting to make the games that he wants to make, do what he wants to do a bit. And I can understand why he wouldn't be super excited just remastering some game he already made. And his studio is not big enough to just allocate that to some other team inside there. So I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really think about it in those terms. That he's kind of just wanting to do what he wants to do. So why would he work on something that's like retreading? It does. Yeah, I guess it doesn't seem to be all about it being worth it.
Screaming Madden says, "Hi, Mike. I played Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 License to Drive Minotti. And Jeff, I beat Bubsy 3D. Fuck you, Grubb." Yeah, but Mary-Kate and Ashley License to Drive is a good game, Jeff. You'll see.
Well, it's GameCube.
Yeah, that's right. There aren't any bad games on the GameCube. What is like the worst GameCube game? Because even the things that are supposed to be bad, I kind of just like playing anyways. Like, I love that stupid Universal Studios game on there. So, I'm just sick. I've been watching Mario Kart Double Dash videos and really appreciate how each pair of characters having their own items, from Mario Luigi's Fireballs to Donkey and Diddy Kong's Giant Bananas. Anyways, if there was a game called Game Journalist Kart Double Dash and Jeff and Mike are the canon pair, what would your team's unique item be? My first lazy answer is just an Arby's sauce packet. It just acts exactly like a banana peel. But I could throw the bag of hair at people.
Yeah, there you go.
And that just really grosses them out. They get like sick, like cartoon sick, where they get real green. They like start, and then they throw up. They slow down and throw up. But then the puke piles also act like oil slicks for the people who run into them. So that's it. We throw Jeff's hair at people.
Yeah. I would probably just throw sponsored products from our podcast at people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I think I just real quick. I just was like, what are the Google? What is the worst GameCube games? And then the picture of Charlie's Angels popped up, and I just gotta share it. Man, this thing's so fucked up looking.
That is supposed to be a very bad game. You should add that to the Play Club list.
Yes, I'm going to definitely. Yeah, that's just what is going on there. That looks like.
Now you're making me want to play it.
I know. That's exactly what I thought when I saw it. What is this guy's name? Chris. Why does he look like fucking Captain America?
Chris Evans.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Evans.
It looks like Chris Evans mixed with Derek Zoolander.
Yeah.
Look at that body. Look at that profile.
It's just it's banging.
There is an angry video game episode about that game, Nintendo. Yeah, it looks awful.
Aquaman, the Battle for Atlantis. Oh man, there might be some really good ones on GameCube. I just have to hurt you and Dan.
See, I said this when I ranked my consoles recently, and that video's up on the Game S YouTube channel, so check that out. But like I said this about GameCube, it's kind of like with Star Trek: The Next Generation and Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Those are my favorite shows because even when it's bad, even when it's objectively bad,
sure, I
still kind of like it. Right? Like it still does something for me. There's still an essence there that I enjoy, and it's kind of like that with the GameCube, where even when it's awful, I could still have fun somehow.
And the worst game, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, according to the
That
gamer.
can't be true. That game can't be that bad.
Disney Sports Skateboarding is number 2 on here, so that's a pretty good game, right?
No. So I got confused about this too, Jeff. There are 2 separate Disney skateboarding games. This one is not. This one is bad, and it's at my local store right now, and I kind of want to pick it up anyways. But there's a separate one that is just the Tony Hawk Pro Skater clone, made by Toys for Bob, I think. That's actually very good.
Right, I played that. That one's good.
That one's great. This one is not.
Okay. Sonic Riders is number 3, so.
I mean, gosh, I think I only ever played Sonic Riders when it was on. I think we rented it when it was a Kinect game, and it sure seems stupid.
You played Shrek Super Party, right? That's because you did the.
No, I played Shrek Super Slam.
I know you played Super Slam. Okay, I thought you played the party game.
That's
too.
Great.
Yeah,
I haven't
Super
played
Slam's
the party
good.
game. I played Shrek 2, which is just like the license game for the movie. It's okay. It's just like a 4-player kind of co-op platformer with action elements. It's fine. Get ready for the next one, Jeff. Got a little sidetracked there. Whenever it's the CPU says, remember that Nintendo patent for the Game Boy case that added a D-pad and buttons to a phone? I was hoping they would release that for Switch when they put Game Boy games on NSO. But here we are, and we got nothing. You think Nintendo would do any kind of Game Boy or Game Boy Advance themed Joy-Cons, controllers, or a case like this? I mean, they sold controllers for the other things, and yet I feel like we're going to get nothing for Game Boy or Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool, but yeah, I don't think so.
Breadfish says, I'll keep it brief. As of right now, over-under on Mother 3 coming to the NSO. Keep in mind that Mother 1 is already on service as Earthbound Beginnings. Yeah, but Mother 1 was also translated before.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do any new work there. My thing now is, why, if you were going to finally give us Mother 3 after all this time, you really wouldn't try to make some money off of that, aside from just making it an incentive for NSO? Isn't that kind of a big deal? Maybe they don't think it's a big deal. Maybe it's just here you go. Aren't you lucky? But, it'll be like when Fire Emblem 1, right, finally got translated to the US, they didn't just put it on NSO. They made people fucking buy it. It would be like that for Mother 3 almost certainly. So I don't think it shows up on NSO.
Yeah,
I still think it could be on Switch.
I know fans have speculated maybe it's not coming because of controversial content. But whenever I look into this, it's there's critiques of capitalism and the characters, and there's characters who are gender ambiguous. And I'm like, man, that's every fucking game now. That's both those things. It's good. We're all good. We're all good on those.
Right. I don't really buy that they're that worried about the content of Mother 3 anymore. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo. Beefhammer gave me a note saying to use sarcasm for this one. Okay. Why won't the NSO Game Boy app let me play Wario Land 3 in anything but Game Boy Color mode? Shouldn't the Game Boy Original and Pocket be able to play it? It's almost like the game acts as some kind of next-gen exclusive or something.
Oh my god. Well, it's clearly not. It's clearly not, right? Because Wario 3, was that a clear cartridge? I don't think so.
I'm not even going to dignify your stupid questions with answers that I definitely know. I think it was a clear cartridge. I think Wario Land.
Yeah, Wario Land 3 is a clear cartridge. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, shut up.
Thank you, Michael. Jimmy Nintendo says, in light of the Tetris movie, what are other real-life video game stories you'd like to see on film?
Oh, yeah. Man, definitely Nintendo fucking over Sony by going with Panasonic instead.
Yeah. I'd like a whole courtroom drama about the Donkey Kong thing. I don't know if it's actually exciting enough for that. But if
It
it
definitely,
is,
you
that'd
could
be
definitely
good.
make it as exciting as the Tetris. The Tetris story is very good. It's a very good one that they picked. I think that you can do.
Ooh,
Yeah, go ahead.
how about the Half-Life leak?
Yeah,
Half-Life 2 leak.
yeah, that'd be great. I think, I mean, God, the story of like PlayStation and then coming in and undercutting Sega and just destroying Sega with like the $2.99 or whatever the price was, all that stuff would be very, very good. And then I would like to see a story about Silicon Graphics and Nintendo going with Silicon Graphics after working with other companies for so long, and what those conversations were like, and what was the drama there, and then like the final history of Silicon Graphics sort of crashing and burning after all that.
One, Bopped Angel, Advent Children, says, woof woof to my dogs. Should Theater Rhythm be nominated for Game of the Year because it lets normal people experience the best part about the Final Fantasy franchise, music, in a much more fun and quick way than most of the games? Well, Mike, what's your favorite song in there you've never heard before? Oh, so I was actually playing some of the songs from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. You know Mystic Quest, Jeff? That was like
Game Boy.
the one. Yeah, no. Mystic Quest is Super Nintendo.
I don't know who can keep it straight.
It's the
I
one
don't
that
see who
Square
gives a
Enix.
shit.
It's the one Square Enix made back when they thought that Westerners were too stupid to really understand JRPG. Like their JRPGs weren't selling as well in the West, and I think they just assumed that it was too complicated for us was the problem. So they made Mystic Quest to try to teach people JRPGs. So it's very simple, but its music is incredible, and I've always heard people say that. And I was playing those songs now. It's very good. Yeah, Seraphis was telling me this, and yeah, they're great. So those are very good songs. But it didn't really take. You know what? RPG did do a very good job teaching people about JRPG mechanics.
Final Fantasy?
No, Mario RPG. That was a gateway for a lot of people.
Sure, yes, definitely.
Right. I hope that there's some kind of. I mean, I don't think it's gonna win like Game of the Year, but I'm having a lot of fun with Theater Rhythm. I hope people don't forget it. It is weird because it is basically just like the third version of this idea they had before. It somehow just works a lot better. I was playing on stream even before this and just having a very good time. It has a streamer overlay option, which is shocking for a Switch game. And that's really cool. Like it shows what inputs I'm pressing and has all this other extra info. Yeah, it's really neat. So yeah, it's really good game.
I do like you're like it's really fun. It's really weird, and I'm like, yeah, it is weird that it's fun. Final Fantasy game.
You shut the hell up.
It's different.
Bugadillo says, "Hey Jeff, Maraca man, Grubb." And Jeff, I watched that clip.
I know.
Of you not remembering the word for Maraca. I think I watched it at least 200 times. Like that, like you know, and that's a shoot. God, it's good. And Mike Bando Namkai Minati. Damn it. On a whim, I decided to replay Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for GameCube this week. What an awesome game. I'm going to play that eventually. I got the disc. I got the bongos. Let's go.
I got my weird third-party bongos. Let's go.
Oh, shit, dude. Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pelican. Beautiful. Are they? Do they come that yellowed, or is that time?
That is time. That is the spice of time flavoring up these bongos.
Yeah, that's just what happens when something exists in your house for a week, and you wonder why everyone's always sick there.
And I got it connected to my third-party GameCube controller adapter for Wii U and PC USB. I am rocking it here.
Let's go.
I dropped it.
Oh my God, that made so much noise.
All right, we're all good. We're all good. They might not have heard that.
Jeff's like, oh, my OBS isn't working for some reason. I'm usually so careful with everything I own. It has me thinking, continues Bugadillo. The era of the plastic peripheral really died off too soon. What's your favorite game-specific peripheral controller? Mine is probably either the turntable for DJ Hero or the Sega fishing controller. Man, the Sega fishing controller rules. But DJ Hero, also a great game. But, non-ironically, Jeff, I loved the Sambas for Samba de Amigo. I played the hell out of Samba de Amigo so much that, like, I just can't really get that excited about the Switch game because I just don't think it's the same thing if you don't have the Maraca controllers. That's why the Wii version didn't work. So we'll see. But God, I love those maracas. They felt so good because they are just maracas because maracas are relatively simple, but they're controllers. It's awesome.
This is probably like in the spirit, but not exactly what you mean. But I liked any Game Boy Advance cartridge that came with Rumble, and so it had the big triangle like cage sticking out of the back of the cartridge that would hang off the back of the Game Boy Advance. So like Drill Dozer was really great. I I like all that stuff. I wanted every single one of them.
Dr. Seth says, hey, dogs, Metroid Prime is a fucking banger, huh? Do you consider it the biggest banger that most people haven't played? Have most people not played it? If they haven't, then shame on them. If that's true,
it's like
sure.
at 3 million copies between the Wii and the GameCube version, right? So that's like not
enough
great.
people have played it.
Yeah, enough people probably have played it. Yes.
It's not. It certainly is. I would never call it some hidden gem. That's for sure.
No, clearly not a hidden gem. I mean, yes, especially if you put it in the context of like how many GameCubes sold. Yeah. But I mean, if you put it in the context of how many people are playing games now, a lot of people have not played it. Enough people have played it, though.
Lolly Sup says, hello, gentlemen. PAX East exhibitors have been announced, and there's no Big Three, Square, Bethesda, or many other from past years. Apparently, there is Nintendo. Someone else has said so. But they continue, do you expect this to be the case going forward? Is this a read pop thing or the publishers? I mean, God, Jeff, we haven't been to a PAX East in a long time. Are we not going to this one? I know we talked about it, then a lot of stuff happened. Probably not, huh?
I mean,
it's like the end of March. It's real soon. It's like
it's real soon. I know we were trying to make it happen with work, where we were like, we suddenly got our travel budget back, and we're like, can we make this happen? And then it was a bit too late to get a panel. But so probably not. Well, maybe we should just go to the next PAX. I don't know. We'll see.
But I don't know. In terms of, I don't think there's anything too crazy going on with exhibitors here. I think Nintendo is going, so I think it'll be okay. I mean, does Sony or Microsoft ever go to PAX? Is that a thing? I haven't been.
Sony's been there a couple times. I don't know. I can't remember Xbox. Nintendo's been there a few times too. I don't think this is a read pop thing. I think this is just a timing thing, and these companies sort of figuring out ways to save money and also just like, let's make our investments more wisely. I think it's kind of just that simple. And they might wrap back around and suddenly they are wanting to spend a lot of money on marketing, and they'll be back at PAX. We'll see.
Dolly says Xbox was at the first couple. I'm trying to remember because I was only at literally the first couple PAX East. So the first and second. I remember like Red Dead Redemption 2. I remember Portal 2 being there. Not Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption 1. I remember Disney being there with freaking Split Second. I remember, what the hell was that game from that World of Warcraft guy who's like a giant jackass?
The Red 5 studio.
That was like a shooter
PAX.
MMO.
It was at every PAX. I can't remember.
They had the van, right?
Yeah.
or the truck or something. Yeah. Next up is from Running Riot. He says, hello, dogs. Just want to share a story. I was getting caught up on episodes while fixing breakfast. Ooh, little brekkie. For the other morning while the kids watched some cartoons. Ooh, Dommy mommies were brought up. Firefall. I wanted to say that, then I thought, no, that's a different game. I was thinking of Firewatch. Anyways, back to this question. Dommy mommies were brought up while talking about Engage, and I hear my 4-year-old say, Dommy mommies from the living room. Oh, no. I didn't know what to say, so I said, that's a bad word. So he wouldn't say it at preschool. Ooh, that's the wrong thing to say, maybe. Love the show. Maybe AirPods from now on. Yeah. Sorry, Running Riot.
Yep.
But look, you're going to have that conversation with your kids someday about Dommy mommies. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Dommy mommies are fine. They're running over, they're taking over wrestling these days. They took over video games a long time ago. I mean, I bet within our lifetime, Jeff, we're going to have the first Dommy mommy as a United States president. And it's going to be a moment that's going to make me cry.
I'm going to be so proud of my country, maybe for the first time. I can tell as soon as you started going down that one how proud you were. You're like, I'm taking this all the way to the end. I am sticking with this bit. And I'm like,
man, I'm just funny.
Let him cook. Just let him cook.
People don't appreciate how funny we are. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna take a sip of
let's get a little breather. These questions are too long, everybody. I don't know what you want me to say, Wolf. They're too long. There's too many of them.
I'm heated. We're going to in the future about that. We're going to have to start alternating between topics and questions, everybody, just because the show's been getting... Look, we've got a lot more pocket producers, which is fantastic, and I'm very appreciative. But logistically, we can't do a topic and a question every episode. So next episode will be questions again. And then after that, we'll do the topic going forward.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, thank you. Yes, Jeff. Yell at the audience. That cools me down. makes me feel like daddy's mommy.
Can I ask you a question? I'm gonna put him on blast right now. When I was frustrated with OBS, did you tell Christian not to laugh when I came in?
No.
No? He just knew not to, like, he knew I was in a bad mood and he could just tell?
I mean, I hope he would learn at this point. I knew not to. I mean, I thought there were still moments where he was going on and on like he does. And I thought you were going to get mad anyways. But no. He knew. Christian knew. Good job.
Right, good
Christian. Picking up on.
All right.
He's picking up on social cues.
Cool.
That's
Awesome. Well done. Well done.
Okay. Next question here is from Clink.
What is going on?
Mommy Tommy president. Okay.
I'm imagining the big lady from Resident Evil in one of Hillary Clinton's.
Yeah,
one of Hillary Clinton's pantsuits. That's just.
I don't think she's a citizen.
She's not natural born. Nah, probably not.
Okay. Clink says, "Hello, Mike, not AG Minotti, and Jeff, not GEOFF Grubb.
Goddamn right.
What's more likely to appear in the Mario movie, a rabbit or a minion? Minion.
A minion.
Illumination would rather fucking die than animate a rabbit in one of their movies.
It's just like, that's only because they know that if they bring about the comparison, everybody will be like, well, rabbits have obviously been here first and staked out this ground. This belongs to Ubisoft. And then Yves is going to pop out and take out Chris Milladandri.
Are rabbits done yet? I mean, they couldn't even help.
I think they're done now.
Right. Like you put them in a Mario game and that worked one time. And now it's clear that they were in impediment, right? With the sequel, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're done with rabbits finally.
Impediment. I thought you were saying they were in Pentiment.
They were not in Pentiment. They're an impediment.
Although, that'd be pretty good. The rabbits in Pentiment.
No, it wouldn't. No. Dugan says, Nintendo Pound Puppies. What is your take on lo-fi music, and more specifically, video game music covers in that style? I found a cover of Sticker Bush Symphony from an artist called Lo-Fi VGM and felt the need to share. Hope you enjoy it, and thanks as always. I don't go out of my way to seek it out too often, but whenever I hear it, I like it. I don't think you can make a bad version of Sticker Bush Symphony, though, and that seems like a song that is specifically a pretty good fit for lo-fi. That girl who's always studying, she listens to lo-fi songs, right? That's that channel? Lo-fi beats to study to or something?
You talk about the cartoon girl who's always studying. That's
it's raining.
Lo-fi beats to study / relax to. Yes, that's what she's listening to. And this is probably going to be loud. Holy shit, that's loud. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, that's not lo-fi. If you know it's going to be loud, why don't you lower it first?
Well, I mean, listen, I didn't know how loud it was going to be. It was way louder than even I was expecting. Here's the thing, Chad didn't even hear it, so we're going to do it again. Here we go.
Okay, good. It scared me.
All right, never mind. Anyway, there we go. I think I've lowered it. It's still really loud for Chad. There we go.
That sounds very good, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's Michael Staple, everybody. Michael Staple, Sticker Bush Symphony. All right, there we go.
Very good. Lenny, Cool Dick Denver says, hey, Nintendo Iowans. I was watching the old Blight Clubs of Sonic 06, and I was wondering if you guys ever hashed out what constitutes a mainline Mario game. I think Jeff and I are on agreement with this. We're fine on this one. We think that the mainline Mario games are...
We hashed it out. Like, we had to, like, work through it, but we got there in the end.
Took a while.
Yeah.
But basically, it's everything you think. Like, the contentious ones usually... Really, the only super contentious one is Yoshi's Island if you're a sane person. If you're an insane person like Dan Reichert, you're going to say things like, the portable ones don't count.
God, I want to beat him. That's one of the things that actually says that makes me want to beat him up.
Yeah, we should maybe just go get him.
Yeah.
It's like some people are like, oh, New Super Mario Brothers don't count because they're not as good. It's like, look, I understand they're like kind of like in a subcategory, but they're mainline. So mainline Mario games are Mario 1, Mario 2, both Mario 2s. Yes, that's like another thing, but it's both of them. Mario 3, Mario World, not Yoshi's Island, Mario Land 2, not Mario Land 3, Wario's Land. You had to play as Mario has to be the main character. That's the thing. That's why there's no Wario Land, there's no Yoshi's Island. Then, like, you know, all the new Super Mario games, and then all the mainline 3D Mario games. Who is it who's like, Super Mario 3D World doesn't count? Was that also Dan?
I have literally just tweeted at Dan Reichert. I just remembered that you don't think Super Mario 3D World is a mainline Mario, and it makes me want to assault you.
That is actually more ridiculous than the
one of the most ridiculous things. that
It is
anyone's
the
ever
most.
said.
I don't understand how a game could be more mainline. I think it's just because like it's blanketed by other.
Because it comes up from
Main-
3D Land. So he's like, oh, 3D
Right,
Land's portable, so
that's
you go
what
from
it
there.
is.
And so that doesn't count because it's a spin-off of a spin-off, and I want to spin him off this planet.
Right. It's just because of his. It's like connected to his weird portable hang-up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's messed up. If you say that 3D World is not mainline, you're disqualified from the conversation.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of, I mean, like, yes, to have we hash this out, I mean, there is literally a video on this channel on YouTube of us hashing this out. Or were you there? Or maybe you weren't there.
Well, we did a ranking of the mainline Mario
We did a ranking
games
of them. Okay, so there's a video of us ranking the mainline Mario games where we discuss like why these are the mainline Mario games, and then me and Gene Park and a few other people at PAX did a panel about
Right,
this.
you did a panel. I wasn't at the panel.
Yes, we did a panel at PAX, and that's on this channel as well, so you can check that out and where we actually discussed this. I think Kyle Orland was there, and was it Anthony? Was it? Yeah, I think so.
My newer fight has been about Final Fantasy mainline because I do not think like Final Fantasy X-2 counts as a mainline Final Fantasy game. And people yell at me, but I stand by that. Because then you have to say like Final Fantasy 4, the after years is it's gross. Big Tony says, "My dogs DK oldies? Yes, no, thanks."
I can explain this for you. Do you haven't been paying attention to YouTube?
Jeff, I would know, and I would love an explanation.
So DK Oldies is this old retro game store. It's a retro game store that's like do you know CarMax? Do you understand CarMax? Like what I mean when I say CarMax, it's just like the mall of buying cars, and there's no haggling, and there's gonna be there's an upcharge for everything, but it's a very smooth experience, and it's kind of like really slick, but it's too slick, so you're gonna be paying that extra. DK Oldies is the equivalent for old games. The problem is that they have been shipping out a lot of stuff that turns out to be real junk and real crap. The especially egregious thing is that they will label game or systems as refurbished. And if you go look at their site, dkoldies.com or whatever it is, and the reason everyone knows them is because they're really big on social media. They do really good like YouTube shorts about.
I think I have actually seen some of their things. Yeah.
So, Sammy from Albuquerque just ordered a Game Boy Color. Let's go get him one. And they just go to the back thing.
Yes,
and
I have seen one of these.
And there's like 15 Game Boy Colors in a bin. They get one out and they put it in there and they put the game in there and they give them a special sticker, all that stuff. That's why they're big. But they will list every single one of their systems as refurbished. And people have taken apart these systems and they will find dirt just like everywhere. The boards will be super dirty. And Spawnwave is who's someone that used to do this kind of work and actually refurbish systems, was like, none of this counts as what you would call refurbished. You would have to actually like take the boards out and put them in like hypersonic cleaners and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. They do not seem to be doing that at DK Oldies. So it's, I think they probably just use the refurbished tag so they could charge more money.
I generally, with all my retro stuff, I don't like buying any of it online. And it's like,
see
part of the fun
it.
for me, I want to see it. Like, either I'll go to a store or maybe there'll be some kind of toy fair or something. Maybe I'll go to one of those. But yeah, it's almost cheating if I could just buy this shit online.
I think, just to put it bluntly, DK Oldies is for rubes. It's for rubes. It's
a rube.
Yeah, rube is like a sucker. It's a mark. It's a mark, is what it is.
There we go. Gotcha.
Right. So it's just someone that's they aren't looking into this very deeply. They remember one or two games from their childhood. They get the urge out of nowhere, and they're not going to like shop around or anything. So they're paying extra. It's yeah.
Are they jabroni marks that don't know a work when you work a work into a shoot, brother?
Yes, brother.
Okay. Pablo Costa says, "Hello, beef and cheddar, compadres. The announcement of a brand new Pokemon Presents. Can we expect Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Red and Blue to drop on NSO by the end of February?" I could see those happening together. Sure.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a shadow drop as part of this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The Jet in the Hat says, "Hey, Mike, chickened out on kissing Jeff, so he asked AJ to do it instead. Minotti and Jeff, AJ is my new Valentine Grubb. With the new Nintendo Microsoft partnership announced, I think that's maybe pushing it. Could Hi-Fi Rush be on Switch one day? More importantly, could Chai join the next Smash?"
Lots of things could happen. Lots
of things can happen.
Yes.
I mean, look, if Microsoft was gonna be like, you could put a character in Smash Brothers, I mean, wouldn't it be Master Chief? I don't think Nintendo, when it comes to Smash Brothers, settles for kind of, I don't want to say secondary characters. I love Chai, but you know what I mean. Like they got freaking Sora, right?
Yeah.
And all the hoops they had to jump through to do that. It wouldn't be Chai. It would be like Master Chief or something like that. I mean, they jumped through hoops before. They've gotten Banjo-Kazooie and Minecraft Steve and stuff like that. I would like it, sure.
What if they got,
Hi-Fi
what if
Rush,
they got Pierce Brosnan as James Bond?
that I would not. No,
That's not going to happen, though.
that's not happening. Pennywise says, I'm back from our awesome Disney World trip, my beef and cheddar dogs. Mike, thank you so much for the bathroom advice for my wife a couple weeks back. I remember this. I know it sounds funny, but we visited Mike's favorite bathroom by the Japanese cherry
Oh
blossom
my
at
God,
Epcot.
I hate how excited you are about
helps
this.
with so many emergencies. Yes! I love those bathrooms. Yes, it worked. Incredible trip to celebrate my wife's return to good health. We were there for 13 days. Oh, I love taking like long trips like that. You can really just kind of relax and you don't have to worry about seeing everything in one day. And like Mike, we're proud to wear the title of Disney Perverts. Good. Here we go. Jeffy's going to talk to you now. Jeff, while listening to a previous episode where you mentioned the Nintendo vouchers and how it's not a deal, it's just Nintendo manipulating you, I literally bought them during the show thanks to you. So it's now your responsibility to tell us what to use my second voucher for. I used my first for Pikmin 4, and I already pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom for $60 from Amazon over a year ago. Any good releases for later this year, I should save it for.
Let's go to the gamer browser, everybody. All right, let's see what's happening here.
Bayonetta Origins, Carezza's childhood flippy flop. I don't know what the hell.
Carezza.
Carezza!
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is one that I would use it on right now because very big
Yes.
Kirby household right now, but you know if Kirby's for you or not. Octopath Traveler 2, getting pretty good reviews. That's coming out 2 days, 3 days. Maybe that.
Yeah, very soon.
Let's see here. There
Like
is...
JRPGs, then maybe. I'm still like, I just don't know about. I love JRPGs, and I just don't know about Octopath Traveler, Jeff.
Yeah, sure. MLB The Show 23 coming to
Shit.
Switch. Maybe do that.
fun.
Mega Man. Well, this is not $60, so you definitely don't want to do that on a game. It's not $60. I'm going to say Mega Man Battle Network.
Yeah, probably not.
The Minecraft Legends, April. I would use it on Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp coming April 21st. There you go. You're welcome.
There you go. Mr.
Also, obviously, it's a deal, but it's manipulation. It's marketing. It is them using that urgency to save money against you, and that's fine. A win-win, I guess.
I'm glad you liked my bathroom. Mr. Bower says, what's up, Jeff? Talked about Jimmy Carter still being alive during Grubber Lang, and now look what happened, Grubb. That is messed up,
I was
Jeff.
just
Jesus Christ.
so hoping that no one would notice. As soon as
Oh my God.
as soon as that tweet went out, like, oh, he's going to go into hospice care, I texted Dan. I'm like, oh, fuck. Because we talked about who's going to be the next celebrity death during Sonic, because that always happens. And then all of us were just like, Jimmy Carter. And then hours later, it's like, yes, Jimmy Carter is dying. That's a very good point, Jeff. Fuck.
When is the next Bike Club?
Thursday.
So, look,
Yes!
there's not a 0% chance.
Correct. It's like above, like this is like really high. It's like above 1%. It's not like 0.3%. It's like 1 to 2% chance that that's when it happens.
So I was wondering if I should get serious. I almost got serious. Like thoughts to Jimmy Carter.
I mean, we know he's listening.
Okay, let's just move on here. Tyler J. Wait, no, he had more to say about that.
Please,
that
no.
was just your nickname.
Oh, cool.
And Mike wouldn't have gone to New York if he knew it's called the Big Apple. Yeah, that's true. I didn't learn about the Virtual Boy's existence until a number of years after it was out. It seemed almost mythical that there was this Nintendo system I had never heard about. Your personal recollection, what were the views of the Virtual Boy when it was released? People know it was going to be a failure as soon as it came out, or was it obscure even at that time? I mean, we had a Virtual Boy, and there was kind of like there was something about it that was clearly different than a Game Boy. It felt a bit more niche than that, but you could like go to Best Buy, and with all the other games, there was a Virtual Boy section. It was there. Granted, the Best Buy also had a CDI section, so that alone wasn't super prestigious. It became pretty clear pretty fast that the thing was going to not last very long. They stopped releasing games for it very soon. I was able to look around and notice that no one else I knew owned a Virtual Boy, right? It was just me. But yeah, it was pretty clear it wasn't going to take.
I just remember reading my magazines, Game Players, the current host of the Nintendo Power podcast, the official one. He was the EIC for game players back then, and I was reading the letter section, and someone's like, Nintendo, they have the Nintendo 64 and the Virtual Boy coming out soon. How big is this next year going to be for them? And Chris, I can't remember his last name, but he's the host of the Nintendo Power podcast, was just like, yep, Nintendo's going to be dominating the industry just like they have with the Super Nintendo. And it's all thanks to, yes, the N64, but especially the Virtual Boy. And I just like, man, I believe this. I can't wait to see this thing. And then seeing it, and it took so long for me to register that this thing is just completely busted. I'm like, well, I'm just missing something. I guess I'll mostly play it on the table, but that's not like a Game Boy. All right, it's still 3D, but it's these weird red graphics, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of games. And I just like remember making the decision of I have to use my asks, my birthday and my Christmas asks for my parents judiciously. And I remember that when I decided I am just not going to ask for a Virtual Boy. I'm going to let this one pass me by. I'll wait for the N64. And that was a good choice because they got me the N64 on launch day, the only time they ever did that. So it worked out well.
There you go. I still kind of liked my Virtual Boy. I liked Mario Clash, which was basically just like a weird
some
3D
fun games on the Virtual Boy, yes.
Of the original Mario Brothers arcade. I mean, Wario Land is what everyone talks about. It's still messed up. They didn't just put that Wario Virtual Boy game on 3DS. That would have been cool. And then next one here is from Tyler James Bay. People have been talking about Breath of the Wild needing its Majora's Mask for years. What if Tears of the Kingdom ends up being the Phantom Hourglass to Wind Waker? There's no fucking way.
Man, they spent so many years on this game. It is hard for me to imagine it anything but just way more than what anyone is actually expecting. Because everyone's like, at this point, has been looking at it, it's like, it's the same exact map. It's going to be the same game. And I'm like, I bet that they can do some, if they had like a couple years, they could probably do a lot to that map to make it feel completely different. They have had an entire generation. It's gonna be huge.
Jedi Moss 4 says, good evening, Beef and Cheddar boys. Why do we get excited for emulated Game Boy games for Nintendo consoles when we all know we can easily emulate it on any PC or handheld device today? Is it just a feeling of it being on an official Nintendo hardware? Are we sickos? Why are we like this? I don't know, but I am. I am just like excited, and I played these things, and I guess like part of it is just knowing that it's going to reach a wider audience, and that's certainly true for like something like a Minish Cap or Mario and Luigi. But for Gargoyle's Quest, I could have just emulated that whenever. But for now, for some reason, only when it was on NSO was I finally like, I'm going to play through this, and then I do, and it's great. I play my Switch a lot. I do a lot of my gaming on the Switch. It is just convenient and nice to have those things on there.
Yeah, it is. It's part of the zeitgeist too. A lot of people have the Switch. People are always talking about what's on there. So, when enough people, I just did start the Minish Cap for real, and I'm not even playing it on the Switch. I'm playing it on an emulator on my PC.
That amused me when I was watching your stream, and then when the Retro Arch achievement came up.
Yeah, it was. But it was like I did that for a reason. But the reason I'm playing it is because it's on Nintendo Switch, and people are thinking about it, and I'm like, it's time. I've put it off for long enough. It's time to actually play this thing. So I don't know. At a certain point, it just reaches this critical mass socially that it puts enough pressure on you that you want to participate. That's what it is for me.
That Minish Cap is one of the games being voted for the Game S Game Club next month.
I didn't. I hope it wins because that'll give me even more reason to keep playing it.
Look, I'm not trying to sway the vote. I have a feeling it's going to win.
Okay.
DMC Depressed Me Crying says, hello, Mike, using Jeff's hair to summon a demon, Bayonetta-style naughty. And Jeff, 10-second pause. Sorry, what was the question, Grubb?
Okay, you know what? You're right, but fuck you.
Is Sony's messaging around the Activision deal, if it goes through, where Ruined and Jim Ryan will be on the streets wearing a barrel for clothes within a month, likely to backfire if the deal does indeed go through? How does Sony pivot their messaging to investors to avoid a potential panic and precipitous plummet of stock price? That's interesting. Like, what is... Are Sony's investors going to freak out? The deal goes through now?
That panic's going to happen no matter what. No matter whether Jim Ryan was out there, selling hard this idea that they're doomed without Call of Duty. Investors know how important Call of Duty is. That was going to happen no matter what. I don't know. If anything, if they have this deal to fall back on, if Sony signs that before this goes through, then that might help a little bit. The panic is still going to happen because it's investors we're talking about, and they are dumb as fuck. They are just bricks in a bag stupid. So they still expect a panic.
Ben Chase, he says, hey, Jeff and Mike, do you think Hi-Fi Rush comes to Switch in the next 12 months? I don't, Jeff. What do you think?
What's the question?
Suck it, Jeff.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush on Switch, I think is not going to come to Switch in the next 12 months or whatever. No.
Okay.
No.
You don't think anything's coming except for Call of Duty?
That's where I am right now for the most. I'm not nothing, but I wouldn't be like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is the obvious candidate. No, I don't think so.
Jeremy Biff. I mean, I'd be the only candidate. What other games would there even be? Were they going to put Ghostwire?
Well, Blake's the Time Sweeper.
Yeah, well, I would like that. If they put Crimson Skies on there, I'd be happy. But that's not. It would be cool if they just like put like some classic Xbox games on there. Why not? But it's not going to happen.
I just found this Game Players magazine. I think that has the Virtual Boy announcement stuff in it, and I think
Nice.
I'm gonna do a video on this.
It'd be fun. Yeah, we should do another magazine video.
Yes.
Did you do that last one without me? Are you a mean jerk?
Yeah. You want to come be on my video with my magazine?
Yeah, maybe I would.
Okay,
Jeff.
let's do it. All right, sure.
Maybe I don't anymore.
You were
yeah,
probably at
Jeremy-
Disney. I have no idea, but I think it's like a real safe bet if I just say that.
You're right. Jeremy Biff says, "Hello, Jeff, the game freak of game journalist Grubb, and Mike, the intelligence systems of game journalist Minotti. Is Metroid really the most cinematic Nintendo franchise? Who do you want to direct it? I want Dan Trachtenberg of Prey to direct it, or a horror movie director to direct it. Do you want a first-person camera view or a side-scrolling action scene? It's not a lot of studio movies with minimal dialogue. The last PG-13 studio movie with a little talking in it was Dunkirk, and that had Christopher Nolan. I mean, cinematic, probably. I mean, look, I don't watch any of these adaptations, so I don't really care if they make a movie off of it or not. I don't know if you have thoughts about it, Jeff.
Not particularly. I think that I think that they shouldn't try to like remake any of the scenes from the game, like from a first person view or anything, like do the Doom thing. But I think that Metroid could work as a film, sure, but it's for the most part, I am happy with it as a game, and it works really well as a game because they can do things like put the story to the side and hide it in corners. And if you really care about it, you can find it, and it's actually a fun mechanic to scan stuff. None of that's going to translate to a movie. You're going to have to just put the story up front, and then suddenly you're back in Other M territory, and you got to be careful there.
People still want Brie Larson to be Samus, or are we still kind of thrown off about her really diving into NFTs? Oh, she still has her NFT profile thing on Twitter. That's nice.
Really? Oh, that's a shame.
Cool.
That's
I mean, she probably had to. The deal was probably.
You're probably right. Yeah, I don't really care. Whatever. If she plays Samus, I'd be fine.
Ed says it may be too soon to tell, and all this is pending the successful purchase of Activision Blizzard. But do you think Xbox will set up a new studio / move some teams around to concentrate on Call of Duty parity on the Switch? Or do you think they'll expect the main developer to deal with it? Treyarch has been given a rough hand the past few Call of Duty titles they've worked on. And as my favorite developer, I'm slightly concerned this might end up causing them some issues during development of their much anticipated 2024 Call of Duty. Alternatively, do you think a cloud port would satisfy the deal they'd be able to Nintendo? Yeah, I think cloud's the answer here.
Cloud port definitely satisfies it, but I promise you they are not putting this on the main developer. There is just zero chance in hell that this is stuff that goes to Iron Galaxy. Honestly, Iron Galaxy's probably sitting over and be like, this is good news for us. Yeah, we can help move stuff to the Switch. We will put a Call of Duty that is on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, PC right now on Switch. We can make that happen and give us that business because we just had to close our cool wrestling game.
Mm-hmm. Tink, who do we have to? Tink says, I just like Tink, just name and then go to Tink. Who do we have to pay off to get the Theater Rhythm team to make a version with Nintendo characters? They said they're up to it. That would be amazing if there was just one big Nintendo music game. I mean, we had Donkey Konga, and it was kind of fun. It had like 3 Nintendo songs on there. One of them being the Pokemon anime intro. Then like Bach and Beethoven. It's like, no, give me Nintendo music. Give me Donkey Kong music. So yeah, I don't know. If Nintendo hasn't done it by now, maybe they're just never going to.
Yeah, I would love it. I don't know, but I mean, even if they do one, it's just a new Nintendo game in this style, like the Leaping Agents 3, and let this team kind of maybe take that. That'd be cool.
Nintendo's very weird about their music. We know this.
Yes, that's true.
Drewman says, Mike, I need your help. Oh, hello, Jeff. You can help too, sir. So recently I lost an argument trying to defend the storyline for the classic Metroid games 1 through 4 and Dread. There is a story arc to this series, right? Have they ever really explained Ridley? Who is he? Why is he bad and always comes back? There's more to the greatest 2D games ever made, right? Somebody asked you in the Bombcast about where Prime took place. Now, it's disappointed, Jeff, that you act like there's not an answer. The Prime games.
I don't think was it that. Did they ask me directly where Prime takes place? They said it was all part of the same timeline, and I just said yes.
No, you didn't even say yes. You're like, it's like, you were like that.
There are games that aren't part. Like Other M is questionable, is what I was trying to say.
No, Other M is not questionable. Other M has a very solid place in the timeline.
Yes, but it shouldn't.
Okay, sure, but it does.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
that's fine.
fuck.
It does. It still does. Just it takes place right before Fusion. So there it is. And then Prime 1, 2, and 3 take place between 1 and Metroid 1 and Metroid 2. I mean, really, there's not that much there. He's just like a lieutenant of the Space Marines, and they keep bringing him back because he's like an iconic character everyone likes. So, every once in a while they show restraint, like in Dread, where they stopped taking him back. No, my brother's telling me to stop being a bully, but Jeff, it's the only thing that makes me feel better about myself.
And and Chris, it's the only thing that keeps me in line.
It is. He needs it. He needs a bully. Well,
Yeah.
Jeff, no,
I need a firm hand.
Wait,
No, never
Jeff
mind.
says that adults can't be bullied. That's
True. I can say honestly, yeah. Well, for the most part, yeah.
I love using Jeff's words against him. That's my real favorite.
I mean, fucking yeah. Come at me.
The Minish Wolf says, "Hey Jeff, I got a point for Atomic Heart Grubb." And Mike, shut up, Jeff Minotti. I just dropped Atomic Heart after 2 hours because of how much I hated it. What's the fastest y'all dropped the game because of how much you hate it? It is. I am hearing just all over the place opinions on it, and I'm looking at it. It looks. Yeah, it looks more like BioShock than I was expecting. And
my favorite thing that happened, it was this last year, was we talked about that game, and you're like, "What is it?" Or like we saw it, and then we talked about it in like a recap or something, and I'm like, "Oh, it's the BioShock like thing that takes place in the USSR." And you're like, "Well, I know that's not right." Like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I
Jeff.
forgot about that.
All right, fine. And everyone later was like, "No, that's exactly what it is."
That's actually what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of a game I just dropped super hard like that. There must be some weeby thing you could say, Jeff, that you were not into.
I'm sure there is, but I'm trying. I feel like there is like a really good one, but I don't know.
I mean, the Sonic 06 demo was pretty rough. I never played the game because it was so awful.
Yeah,
So,
here's the problem. It's like when I find a game that's like I hate it that much, I almost feel like a compulsion to finish it. So like Balan Wonderworld, I wanted to put it down that bad, but then I fucking kept playing it.
Evil Janice says Call of Duty will have parity on Nintendo. Does this mean they need to dumb down the Xbox and PlayStation versions for Nintendo to keep up? No, but really, I'm sure Call of Duty on Switch 2 will be fun enough. But how much of an impact do you think it'll actually make? Again, I think even before Switch 2, it's just going to be a cloud solution.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to have any kind of impact on Nintendo. This is just all about making regulators happy and trying to make Sony's position look weak.
Yep.
Chaos Buckaroo says, "Howdy, fellas. Tell me a time video game music made you all cry." I cried in 13 Sentinels, I Just Rim, when that song played. Mike knows what I'm talking about. I just wanted to sing that game's praises this night. That's a very good game. I don't know about crying, but I was in very much a mood when I beat Metal Gear Solid 2 for the first time. And whenever I beat games, it's usually like 4 a.m. And I'm like in the dark in my room, and it's real moody. And that game's whole mood is weird. And that game has a really good final credits song. And like that thing playing just kind of put me in that kind of mood. I don't think tears were falling or anything, but I was definitely feeling something. Can't Say Goodbye to Yesterday is the name of the song. Very cool.
I probably got really moved when the Breath of the Wild trailer, if that counts. I mean, video game music. So yeah, when the Zelda theme comes back into the Breath of the Wild trailer, that is very moving. But yeah, inside of a game, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
JD Camp says, "Hey, Mitch Naughty." I thought of another answer. The last one, when they played the Final Fantasy main theme at the very end of Final Fantasy 15. That's an emotional moment. Okay. Hey, Mitch Naughty and Jeff Byway Grubb. One time as a kid, I got to pick out a game as a birthday present. After what seemed like an hour, I narrowed it down to 2 games, Final Fantasy 7 and Jet Moto 2. I chose the only correct answer and got Jet Moto 2. What were some of your tough game buying / asking for choices as children? I remember Half-Life 1 and King's Quest 8, The Mask of Eternity, being out around the same time. And I think we only got one at the time. I can't remember. I think it was Half-Life. I think we eventually did get King's Quest 8, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, that's one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely had this happen to me a bunch. But usually, what would happen is I would get a game, and then I would just forget about what the other one was because I'm stuck with this game, so I have to put the other one out of my mind. I do remember every time going to the it wasn't Blockbuster, but it was a Hollywood Video. I can't remember what the name of our rental place was called, but I would go there.
Family Video?
It was something like that, but it wasn't. It was like a smaller brand or a smaller regional thing. And every time we'd go there, I wanted to rent the movie Cabin Boy. You know, Cabin Boy, and it just was.
Yes.
It was never ever there, and so we always had to settle for something else. And I don't know why this reminded me of that, but I don't. To this day, I have not seen Cabin Boy, and we tried to rent that thing probably 20 times. It was always out.
York has buy or sell Pokemon Present Edition. If you've not done this before, you buy if you believe the statement, or sell if it's hogwash. Okay, Jeff.
Cool.
You got that?
Yeah,
Buy
hit
or
me.
sell these. Pokemon DLC will be 3 packs, unlike Sword and Shield, which was 2.
I buy this.
Okay. I think it'll still be 2. I'll sell.
I am buying this.
Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 Shadow Drop.
I'm gonna sell this. I think that they will not put 2 N64 things out in the same month. I think that as much as that would probably make sense for what Pokemon company's doing, I think they probably spread it out.
Don't forget, Pokemon Stadium 1, which was Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan, but R1 was made with like red, blue, and yellow in mind, whereas Stadium 2 is made with gold and silver in mind. So they'll wait to release 2, I assume, until when they're ready to release gold and silver on it.
I guess maybe they could release all that at once. Gold and silver is Game Boy Color, right?
Game Boy Color, and as you like to say, black cartridge.
Yeah, black. Yeah. Right, of course, yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Crystal's a clear cartridge, though.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any chance they put a Game Boy Advance Pokemon game out. Probably not, huh?
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red and Blue Shadow Drop.
I buy this. It's a soft buy, but it's. I think it. I think that they will come out of this Pokemon Direct wanting to have something exciting to drop like that, and that'll be it.
I could buy that. I'm not certain, but I think maybe most likely. New Pokemon Snap 2 will be announced. I assume he means maybe Pokemon Snap 2 DLC. I'm gonna say sell. I think they're just done with Pokemon Snap again for another 20 years.
Yeah, I'm selling too. I don't think it did enough to warrant that. It's instead that those resources would go towards a new spinoff. And
Turbo Sean will be disappointed.
I mean, always his entire life is a disappointment.
Does he care about DLC? Because he just cares about the competitive scene. Like, isn't the DLC just story content anyways?
I guess he kind of like it. I guess I don't know. I was gonna say, doesn't he also play the story content and enjoy that? But maybe it is just the competitive stuff.
Let Go My Ego Sticks says, have you seen the Japanese version of Metroid Prime Remastered? They get a reversal boxer. According to Nintendo Life, also Metroid Prime Remastered runs amazing on PC at 4K 60 FPS with Yuzu EA. Yeah, I think so. That technically releases tomorrow in the US, right? The physical version. So we see if we have that reverse art or not. But it sure does look slick.
Yep, looks real good.
And then Nick Turbo says, it's Metroid Prime, a mainline Metroid. It sure is.
Yes, Metroid Prime Pinball, also a mainline Metroid.
I like Metroid Prime Pinball. Good stuff. All right, Jeff, that's it for the questions. Why don't we take a break? We can look at some speaking of virtual play, look at some box art for that. Read some super chats, talk about what we've been playing, and we'll start wrapping up. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Now I do have to pee.
All right, cool. Everyone, we are taking a quick break. Let me bring this up. Let me I'll move it up here. Make it big on the 4K. Let's see if we can capture it before Mikey gets back. Window capture. Magazine. This is game players before it became ultra game players later. I'm trying to remember, did they try to do that branding, that rebrand to line up with the Ultra 64, which didn't change its name to Nintendo 64. They might have. Okay. Here's them. Look, it's Alexei Pajitnov still working with Spectrum Holobyte in 1995 about the game Breakthrough. This is before, I think, the rights expired and he got him back and was able to create the Tetris company, which eventually would turn him into a millionaire. Just when you thought you were over Tetris, Alexei Pajitnov dares you to break through. And then, let's see. The next generation is on the way. Nintendo announces VR gear. Recently, Nintendo unveiled its new 32-bit handheld unit at the Shoshinsuke show in Japan. Game Players has been following the system since October of last year, and now can confirm that many rumors have been floating around. The system, now officially called Virtual Boy, will retail for around $195. This is like the announcement. This is archive.org, the best website on the internet. This is where we respect the work of archive.org to just make it easy to flip through the pages. And this is all just like built into the website. And it's so nice. God, what a good website. Internet Archive. Man, look at these skeletons in Guardian War for the 3DO. Well, let's see. I think there's a rumor section. Oh, leakers, industry insiders. Ready for another game machine? Apple and Bandai hope so. Currently, the two companies are formulating plans to produce a CD-based game machine that will hit store shelves sometime around Christmas of 1995. The machine, codenamed Pippin, hooks directly into your TV set and retails for about $400. The machine will have a PowerPC 603 processor under the hood with a 4X CD-ROM drive. This is back when they had to tell you how fast the CD-ROM drive was.
You are doing it without me.
Yeah. There's rumors here of the Pippin from Apple and Bandai Namco. Or I'm sorry, just Bandai back then, right? Or just,
I had a Pippin.
Man, did you really?
Yeah,
you are
I like that thing.
You are a freak.
Yeah, I had some Sonic game on there. There was some the World of Richard Scary. We had one of those. There's an Echo thing on there too.
Huh. 4X CD-ROM. Let's see, a dynamite new game with lock-on technology.
I like Dynamite Heady.
Yeah, Dynamite Heady, yeah.
Dynamite Heady did not have lock-on technology, though.
Yeah, Mean Bean Machine apparently was also going to have it.
Really?
They're going to have tricks hidden inside that only the lock-on can unlock.
I guess.
What is this? I'm trying to see. There's this Cruising USA.
Hey, did you prepare to show the Virtual Boy box art, or did you?
Yeah, as much as anyone can prepare for anything, Mike.
Well, that would be a lot of preparing. So that's how much. So
right,
I guess you're really ready to go. Then.
I've got a browser source mostly in the right zone. I just gotta resize it now for the Virtual Boy box art. Oh my god! Fuck off! I'm hitting the Windows key. That explains it.
Where's Christian? He didn't come in here.
He's probably cranking it.
Oh, okay.
Ashton answered. Okay. All right. All right. I am ready.
Hey, I gotta get the thread open again.
Yep. Two-handed. Jesus Christ.
All right. And we are back. All right, Jeff, we're actually finally almost done with box art. Me and you are even exempt from it this time, but we are letting the community show their favorite Virtual Boy box art. Wasn't even my idea. AJ just kind of willed this into existence.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. Casual here's got Virtual Boy Wario Land. Is that really just the name of the game, Virtual Boy Wario Land? Not even Virtual Wario Land?
I thought it was just Wario Land.
It might just be Wario Land.
Yeah, but I think they just put Virtual Boy on there to like clarify. This is definitely not for Game Boy.
It's a cool looking box art though. You got Wario breaking through. I mean, this was the killer app for the system because it was actually a full game. A lot of things. Like I said, I liked Mario Clash. It is like an arcade game. This is an actual full blown 2D side scroller. Jeremy Biff here says, Jack Bros, this is like the rare game, not by the company, like in terms of scarcity, but this is actually Shin Megami Tensei joined.
Yes,
Jeff.
it's
How about that?
No, I did know that. Shin Megami Tensei game. It's apparently also pretty good. People seem to like this one.
Also, the first SMT game they released in North America. Yeah, it's like a top-down kind of like Zelda. I don't know if Zelda's the word, but you know what I mean. Top-down kind of action game. Mr. Bowler says, who is Nestor and why is his bowling so funky? Well, we should ask you, Mr. Bowler. I don't know.
Wait, that's
Nestor was the
he's the mascot.
The comic book character from Nintendo Power.
Man, I didn't even put two and two together until I see this cover. That's just Nestor. Okay.
Yeah, Nestor had a video
Nestor,
game.
NES, Nestor.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. There we go. Velocity Prime says Mario Clash, I guess. Come on, this looks great. I liked Mario Clash. I thought Mario Clash was a lot of fun. It gets a bad rap these days, it seems like. I don't know why. It's fun.
I think it's I don't know. I think it looks cool. I mean, obviously the box art looks cool, but I think the game was always kind of just fun. I mean, it's just you're right. It's just an arcade game. It's a different concept of the original Mario Brothers, but
Yeah, well,
I
it's
like
just
it.
set up so like Mario's in like the further away platform, and the enemies are like closer, so he's throwing stuff at them, and in effect throwing them at you, and
Yep.
it looks neat. Oh no, Leah says in before there's no Virtual Boy games left with Waterworld. Is this the only licensed game on Virtual Boy? That's
I think so. I can never get over the fact that Waterworld came out on the Virtual Boy. That tells you how big they thought Waterworld was going to be.
Isn't it hilarious that it was published by Ocean?
Yes. Stupid. Yeah. What the hell?
Also very funny. Like everybody, when you go to Hollywood to see a Nintendo World, please go and watch the Waterworld show. I know what you're thinking. Why is there still a Waterworld stunt show
No,
here?
that should
It's
tell you how
because-
good it is.
Yes, that's exactly why, because it rules, and you should go see it. Big Tony says clearly, Tellero boxer. Was this?
Yes.
I think we rented this, and
This
I
is
think it was
Punch-Out.
like, oh, yeah, it wasn't basically just punch. Now, was it like good? Because there are other
Yeah, it's
games that are
fun.
like Punch Out, but not as good. So you
No,
like
Tellero
this.
Boxer's great. It's the one game that, like, if you should get Wario Land, sure. But the one that's, like, the most virtual, because the guy's right there, it was Tellero Boxer. Tellero Boxer's a lot of fun. I should speedrun Tellero Boxer. I'm just realizing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I bet you can climb
Yeah.
up that leaderboard a lot faster.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
TTKA Graven says, who can ever forget the game? Golf. I do like when Nintendo's golf games were just called golf.
Yes, that owns.
Screaming Madden says, gotta pick Wario Land. Ah, darn, it's been picked. The Nestor's funky. Ah, Balonky, taken two. Well, this 3D Tetris Virtual Boy box art looks neat. This actually does look pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. Like the burning 3D image in the top of the Tetris. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Tink says, Panic Bomber. He's being chased by a mummy and a werewolf, but for some reason, he looks like he's throwing the bomb at us. Probably because he's panicking. This is a puzzle game. This is just a drop-down puzzle game.
Oh wow. Oh, I kind of
it's
remember
not
that.
a Bomberman game.
There were a handful of like bomber branded puzzle games. I think I played one for the Game Boy. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, I'm assuming we're doing Virtual Boy because Mike thinks that the Genesis doesn't have good box art. Look, this is a Nintendo podcast, Lenny, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Also,
Space
yes.
Invader. Also, yes.
Just no, I'm joking. I like a lot of Genesis box art.
Yeah, you go to hell and you. Yeah.
I'm gonna pose real quick.
Yeah, there's Space Invaders. It looks sure as something. Hey, look, Sasquatch Zing says Mario's tennis. Oh wait, it's easy. You're doing it with a child.
Sorry, I took my headphones off.
Oh, the pillow. There you go. You were whispering. I assumed a kid was bothering you, but no, you were just distracted
Yes.
on your own. Mario's tennis box art is actually really good. I like this was just like with the era of Super Mario Kart where we still had Donkey Kong Jr. as the Donkey Kong character because Donkey Kong Country wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
This is the sorry, go ahead.
I think there was a story recently about what happened to Donkey Kong Jr. I never read it. Should check that out. But yeah, look, he's like right there, a place of prominence.
This is the first Mario tennis game, right? I think this was a pack-in with the Virtual Boy. It was a lot of fun. It was good.
Is that true?
I think this is the first one. I mean, yeah, it has
There
to
was
be,
one for the
right?
Game Boy, and did that come
Was
out?
it Mario Tennis or was it just a tennis game?
No, there's Mario. No, you're right. No, you're right. That would be Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I think this is the first Mario
This is the
Tennis
first
game.
one, huh? Weird.
Yeah, it's good. There's
This game was good, yes.
That's the Japanese box art, which also looks pretty similar. Kind of like the US one more. I don't know why. What the heck? Octo says, well, there's not much left, so here's a sweet fish from Virtual Fishing. Very cool. I'd like to do some Virtual Boy fishing.
How are we only halfway through? I've scrolled halfway down. How are there this many more
Yeah, there
box
can't
arts?
be in more games. Maybe they are just going to go through all them. Matt Rear Monkey says, Innsmouth no Yakata, which might be the best game in the system. It's a Lovecraftian horror game, though I definitely played more Mario Tennis than anything. That's pretty cool box art. This looks like a Japan-only joint to me. Was that say IMAX on the top
Yeah,
right?
it's from the Jeff Keighley fortune.
Oh, we need to ask him about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Betty Glaskey has a good Seinfeld Kramer's apartment meme here. What's going on in there? It's the Virtual Boy, Jerry.
It's the Virtual Boy, Jerry. Oh, that's good.
One Bob Angel Advent Children says, not to be confused with the superior space-themed pinball game Space Cadet for Windows XP. No, the best space-themed pinball game is Alien Crush on TurboGrafx 16. But yes, Galactic Pinball looks like a lot of fun. Look at that. It's pinball. Why go play pinball for a quarter when you can buy this for $50?
Man, Galactic Pinball was fun, though.
Yeah. Dan Park says, I come with an entry, but it looks like we already found virtually every Virtual Boy. So my good vote goes to Wario Land. Just look at how unbothered he is by the surrounding treasure trove of misfit energies. Other producers are yelling at me that I forgot V Tetris, and I agree. I kind of like this box art better. So here it is, V Tetris. I forgot that there was V Tetris and 3D Tetris.
Yeah, me too. I forgot that too.
Clink says, while Japan got a relatively simple box for the console, North America got something else. Hope you all got your free batteries. What is this? What is going on here? I forgot that controller is so incredible with the 2 D-pads. That's only 2 D-pad controller.
I mean, only official one. Yeah, I got one that's like a weird. Yes, but yes, it is.
Look at this. Look at this fucked up ad Dugan sharing for Virtual Boy. That is so 90s. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. I do remember seeing this. God, yeah, the little tennis Mario just sitting there staring down a black hole. Yeah.
So this is interesting. I didn't know this. One Up versus CPU says, not a lot of people know this. One of the few licensed games on the system was based on the hottest, and I do mean hottest, movie of 1995, the controversial NC-17 rated masterpiece, Showgirls, starring Jessie from Saved by the Bell in her breakout role. Have you ever played Showgirls for Virtual Boy, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, constantly. I'm definitely, yeah.
I guess my parents kept this one away from me, probably because of the rampant nudity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, those boobs could poke your eyes out.
Well, if they're anything like Laura Croft's, which were the only boobs I was familiar with at this time. Cranky Basketball says, now you might be thinking, wait, this is a Switch game, but you actually use a Virtual Boy in this game. Look, it's flimsy, but this is the only way we'll say something nice about this tire fire of a console. There's Luigi's Mansion 3. JD Camp has another Bomberman game. I don't know if this is Puzzle Bomber or some other Japanese-only one. The Midish Wolf 5 says, the hell you want me to post? All of them are taken. Here's Elite Beat Agents, but with the Men in Black and Gex the Gecko. Okay. And then Shoji Koto says, Bound High. Canceled unreleased games totally count because the bottom of the barrel has already been scraped clean. But hey, it's close enough, especially since the ROM and source code leaked online, and subsequently a limited number of reproduction copies were created / released. Jeff, I played this at an E3 once at some booth.
Oh, cool.
This game's really neat. It's like about the ball's constantly kind of bouncing on platforms, and you're looking like top down, so the ball is always kind of bouncing at you. So it's a neat 3D effect. I like this game.
That's neat.
Bound High. All right, so like I said, everyone, next week, just questions. We are going to start alternating for time reasons here. But for now, Jeff, you say you've been playing Minish Cap. How's that been going?
Yeah, it's fun. I finished the first dungeon, and it's clicked. It makes sense. I'm realizing now why I bounced off before. The visual language is different than the Zelda I'm used to, and so I would get through something and I wouldn't immediately recognize it, and I know looking at it, this is supposed to be easy. Like there's not a lot going on. They're not trying to complicate me yet. So the fact that I can't instantly solve this is frustrating. So I'm just going to stop playing. I'm beginning to piece together Capcom's language more than I had before. And it's just different. It's not necessarily okay. It's not as good as Nintendo's language, but it's still mostly working. And there's some cool stuff. And then you start with the Gus Jar, which has a lot of cool stuff you can do. That first boss fight was really good. I don't know. It's really interesting already. It's like it feels very different, but also very Zelda, and it looks great. So I've been enjoying it.
That is one of my favorite, like, first Zelda dungeons. I don't know, something I like about that whole thing with that rotating kind of barrel in the middle that you keep going back to access new areas. Yeah, the boss fight there is like basically like a Yoshi's Island boss fight, which is great. You're just fighting a regular enemy, but really big.
Yeah, because you're really small. So it's right. Yeah. Instead of making the enemy big, you're really small. But it's Yoshi's Island enemy. It's really cool.
And a lot of Game Boy Advance games were used really bright colors, just so that they were kind of easier to look at, especially back before they had the SP. This game really plays to that as a strength because it's trying to sort of follow the Wind Waker style, so it is like more colorful and it is brighter, and it looks really good. I love the way this game looks still. And even though the Game Boy Advance has like a rough sound chip, there's some good music here.
Yes.
You were kind of going in the mountain, heading towards the second dungeon. There's a really cool track that plays there that I know I love a lot. So, but like I think the big problem with the game is one that you're past the worst of it, and it's a problem all the Zeldas from this era had. They're just really oddly talky in the beginning. They just don't let you go. They really feel like a need to set things up and kind of have you talk to a bunch of people. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword were maybe this at its very worst, but it does kind of eke its way into this game too. And you kind of have to like either get past it or just try to take it and enjoy it and slow down, I guess. It is a little annoying. Even in the game itself, if the partner character thing is still a thing where for no reason at all, your hat's going to talk to you and explain things that you probably would have just figured out, or you wish the game would find a more clever way to tell you.
Yeah, but it is going now, and I'm ready to get back into it. And I think it's going to be the game I'm streaming here for the next little bit. So I'm excited to stick with it and actually see it through this time.
Yeah,
this is the farthest I've ever gotten for sure. So.
And I think once you're at this point, I think once you beat that first dungeon, you're kind of you go.
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Anything else, Jeff?
No. I mean, the kids are getting into Mario Kart now out of nowhere, and they're really. Emmy's playing a ton of that, and we did get Kirby Star Allies because they just couldn't wait for the next one. So I found so I found that and. We were able to play some of that, and then but then Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming out in a couple days, so we'll hopefully get a code for that, and if I don't, I'll just buy it. But so yeah, still a lot of Kirby stuff, a lot of Mario Kart, but yes, mostly it's been Zelda, and then it's been Mike Tyson's Punch Out still, which I've been practicing a lot and getting close to being able to do a run, I think.
Hey, I think I am still in Nintendo jail. I did not get a review code for
Kirby,
so
I didn't either. Yeah,
I'm still not trusted with review codes. I'm allowed to preview games, but
we're trying to make a trip out, hopefully to Super Nintendo Land, and like maybe can we get anything for that? Maybe just to like make it a little bit easier for us to do our job. And it's like we don't know. We'll see.
I can maybe help you there.
Cool.
But Metroid Prime, I've been making good progress there. I think you're really close to beating it. If you haven't, I just what was the last thing I did? I just got the plasma beam, so I have all of my weapons now.
Yep, I have 3 artifacts left to get, or maybe just 2. I'm like right there.
Okay.
So
how many did you get just kind of playing through the game? Because you do get a few, and you're just kind of
I got 3.
It's not like you can't get them till the end.
Yeah, I got 3, and then there was one that I got really close to getting and I missed out. There's a puzzle where I think where you need to shoot missiles at the things holding up the ceiling.
Yeah, I did that one. Yeah,
I didn't have enough missiles to do that in one go. So I was like, I'll come back to that. And now I can't find it. And
it's right by the entrance to the ruins. It's when you go in the first time before the half pipe. It's to the left.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so yes. So I'll do that, and then I think I have just one other one to get, and then I'm going to beat that game here very soon. Although probably tomorrow because I won't have time to play it tonight. But yeah, God, that game rules.
It's so good. It's still just having an incredible time. Still keep playing it longer than I should each night. I'm like, no, I kind of just want to get this one more thing because I know right now I know where I need to go. So I should keep going. I could stop when I'm lost. And then, even when I am lost, I'm like,
and they have now you have the plasma beam, so it's like easy to take out most enemies and stuff. So yeah,
right now I really know, like basically everything's open up now. I mean, is that the last item? I mean, I think just about. I don't have the. What's that?
You have X-ray.
I have X-ray. I don't have the phazon suit.
Okay, that's the last one. There's optional ones. Like you got the flamethrower and everything, and
I think I got the other super weapons. I haven't gotten the flamethrower. I just actually because I don't think I even remembered about that one tube you can use a super bomb in, and you mentioned it in the quick look. So when I was in there, I was like, oh, I can use a super bomb here or whatever, and that's where the like super ice thing was.
Right.
Not that I even use those weapons very much because
they use so many missiles.
Right. Like I use the super missiles against the super hunters or whatever, and that's like basically it. But it's easy to get them.
Yeah, it's fun to get everything, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked about Theater Rhythm and how much I've been playing that, and it's been a lot of fun. So I will keep playing it. Any more super chats, Jeff, that sneaked in here?
Let me check here real quick. I'm not positive if I think we did not get this one from Gartooth. Now that Nintendo stops sitting on Prime Remake and Game Boy NSO, do you think we will also finally see the rumored 1-2 Switch sequel get announced?
That was a rumor.
That is not exactly the same situation. That one they're sitting on because it's really, really bad. People hate playing it. So
Really?
everybody's 1-2 switch. Yeah, apparently. So it's a battle royale 1-2 switch, and like apparently it's fun for the first couple of minutes, and then it goes and it lasts way too long, and the rounds are just they just drag on forever. So even by the time you're done with the first match, you already hate the game. That's apparently the big problem with it. So,
whoops.
Yeah, I bet either they don't release it, or if they do, it's going to be a Nintendo Switch Online for free.
Here's a shitty game for free. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right then. I guess we're done here, Jeff.
Yeah, we did. Actually, let me double check, make sure. Okay, this is a Tobak Shakur one. I don't think we hit. Manscaped is single-handedly keeping Jeff's marriage together with all these products and benefits. That's right.
That's true.
Absolutely right. She, like I said on the last episode, she smelled my balls when I walked in the room and really said they smelled good. So,
right. Good.
I mean, they were that pungent and flowery smelling.
All right. Yeah. Look, I know I get carried away about mommy Dommies running for president, but come on.
Yeah, this is a true story. I don't know what you want me to say, Mike. I don't know.
You think your wife knows what a mommy Dommy is?
I mean, I can ask her.
Please do.
I can ask her. Okay.
I would like to know if she knows.
Yeah, sure.
And how proud she'll be when that glass ceiling is broken.
Okay, I'm hitting the button.
All right, thanks for listening to Last of the Nintendogs, everybody. You're gonna find more of me on GamesBeat, more of Jeff at Giant Bomb. We will be back on Thursday with Game Mess Besides. I'm gonna be on a couple of things on job on Thursday because there's Fight Club, but I'm gonna be on the voicemail dump truck this week.
Yeah, that's we're gonna do voicemail dump truck right after the Sony State of Play. So we'll watch State of Play, and then we'll go right into voicemail dump truck with Mikey and Snowbike Mike and Dan Reichert. So again, if you have a question for these guys, 707 exit flu. Keep the calls, unlike you do here, under like a minute, 30 seconds, even better.
Awesome, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, what are you doing tomorrow? Game Mess mornings and anything else?
Mike, can you be on Game Mess mornings tomorrow? Lucy said nice.
Sure. I think. Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
Wednesday, right? Yeah, I know you're busy.
Wednesday.
I know you're like being on a bunch of things, but yeah, help me out.
I will make sure. I have a strategy. I have a meeting at 12:30. What time is it?
You'll be done by 12.
I'll be fine.
Bye, everybody.